Game Notes, brought to you by Canadian Tire. Let's get started.
Well, Ottawa center Carl Coulter will miss today's game because of a knee injury. First time he's missed a game in 7 years. Can you tell me how you're going to help your replacement, George Hudson, from the sidelines today?
Well, you know, the more rides you have on the field, the better. So I'm just going to stick by the sideline with him and just communicate when he comes off the field and the rest of the linemen and make sure everyone's seeing the same thing. But he's a more than capable lineman and got a great group up front, and I'm sure that they'll get the job done today.
A lot of the guys are talking about how much they want to win this game today for the fans.
Well, you know, the fans have been great. They've supported us through the year. We're disappointed that we couldn't give them more victories, you know, but we get paid for 18 games we signed up for, and this is number 16, 17, or whatever. They all run in together. But, you know, it's just great to see the support out here today at our final home game, and we hope we put on a good show for them and on a positive note.
Try to have fun on the sidelines today.
I'll try my best.
Okay. Now let's go back upstairs to Mark and Chris.
And it's a cool and damp afternoon for football in the nation's capital, only 4 degrees, and it continues to drizzle this afternoon as these two teams get set to conclude the final 2 weeks of the regular season with a home-and-home series, hoping to rekindle a great rivalry of years gone by. Don Matthews, with 1 win today, can reach a CFL milestone. First coach to win 200 games, including playoffs, all time. And his team just 1 win away from tying a team record, 13 wins in 1 season. For Ottawa, Joe Paopao has been a popular coach with his players throughout this growing pain of a first season for the expansion Renegades. He wants to give Ottawa fans reason to come back for more next year. Baker, the veteran, to kick off for Montreal. George McCullough, Alfonso Roundtree back to return for Ottawa. The first place Alouettes locking it up and getting set for a sold-out Eastern final in Montreal in mid-November against the 4th place Renegades. At home here at Clair Stadium in Ottawa, it is McCullough, the former 49er, at his own 11-yard line, looking for a hole up the wedge, and he's hit early and dropped. Stefan Fortin makes the tackle as Dan Crowley gets set to come out a 16-yard return on a 65-yard kickoff. Crowley, as you mentioned off the top, Chris, with 4 interceptions back on August the 8th against this Montreal team. He's going to have to use it today.
One of the things I really like what he said is he's going to throw the ball to a spot. He knows he's going to be pressured. He's going to put it there. It's up to the receivers to realize where he has to be, recognize the blitz, and be in the proper situation on the football field.
Ottawa opening their first drive in a double tight end formation. They'll go on the ground. It's Josh Ronick, the pint-sized running back, up for Rookie of the Year for Ottawa this year, and a short gain up the middle.
Nice job of just getting it. That's what you have to do, establish the run. Crowley, Mike Moore, Ronick, who just carried the ball that last time in the backfield. The receiving crew, Oliver, Jones, Hodge, and Cummings. Aubrey at the slot back. And an offensive line with newcomer Hudson placing Carl Coulter, Jermaine Abumekrek, Burns, and Dittman at the tackle.
Question today, George Hudson and the connection with his quarterback. They've only had 3 practices together this week. Sprint out, 2nd and 8. Crowley looking way downfield for Copeland. It's intercepted. Oh, the ball's dropped and picked up. They'll call it incomplete. Wayne Shaw picked it off the turf. Reggie Durden thought he had the interception, Chris.
Well, I like the play selection right here. Let's stretch this defense. You know that Montreal likes to bring a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage. Let's go deep. This doesn't look like anywhere near like it has to be.
Well, that's an interesting call, Chris. I think the ground caused the fumble.
Well, that's basically what they're going to say. Did he have control of the football?
Oh, my goodness, that was an interception.
Well, Malcolm Johnson pushing him down. You see Wayne Shaw picking up, thinking there's a fumble, ready to return. Coaches on the sidelines jumping up and down, not happy with that call.
So Dan Crowley, who threw 4 interceptions on August the 8th, opens with his first pass, one that was overthrown. Looking for Malcolm Johnson. It's a block punt. Baron Miles blocks it, and into the end zone goes Bruno Heppel for a touchdown. A turnover on the first series, and Montreal hits pay dirt.
Well, I'll tell you one of the things that happened. We talked to Coach Paopao, and he said, you know what? A lot of people talk about Coach Matthews and his defensive genius, but he says one of the things that people don't give him enough credit for is his scheming of special teams. What an illustration right here. They got 4 guys around Harper right there. Baron Miles, with his third block punt of the season. Bruno Happel picks it up and jaunts into the end zone easily with an entourage of teammates.
What a tough way to start for the Renegades, who've given up 89 points this year, not counting that touchdown on turnovers. Baker with the point after attempt. High snap, Cahoon has it. It's through and good. And so, in the first minute and a half of this football game, Montreal special teams and a 7-0 lead. Baron Miles with a league-leading third block kick, and Montreal is up 7-0 over Ottawa early as Bruno Happel waltzed into the end zone unmolested for that Montreal touchdown. Baker to kick it off again, all within a minute and a half for this opening first quarter. Roundtree at his own 22 with a host of blockers, tries to go outside, contained, and he's hauled down from behind. Tim Fleiser puts the hook on the return there, and Ottawa goes back 1st and 10 as we take one more look at that botched punt.
Well, special teams a big part, and they're just going to bring a lot of guys. This is basically a jailbreak right there. 4 guys come free. This is a total misassignment by not one, by a group of players blocking for Glenn Harper. He has absolutely no chance to get that football off. I mean, you take a look at, there's 4 Alouette people there at a block point. That's inexcusable.
Harper, the 40-year-old car salesman, putting a dent into the start of this football game. With the block punt, flags down as Crowley has his first down play whistled dead. Glenn Johnson, the official here this afternoon.
Procedure, Ottawa, number 19. Repeat first down.
Let's take a look, Chris, at this pressure Alouette defense.
Well, they come after you. Philly on Brown side. Low. Mark Megna, outstanding season at defensive end. Strickland, Johnson, Stefan Reed at the outside linebacker position. And a great group in the secondary. Loftus, Durden, Miles, Carter, and Wayne Shaw at the cornerback position.
1st and 15, Ottawa. Crowley to pass. Wide side. It's complete. Reggie Jones gets across the 33 to about the 34-yard line. As Ottawa is forced to go to the air after that procedure penalty.
Well, I think you have to go. A lot of times what Montreal do is they'll put a lot of guys in the box between the tackles, and as a result, you have to spread out your receivers. Use the open part of the football field. They're going to keep the fullbacks in and running backs in for extra protection. You got one-on-one. It's just a quick throw right out there to Reggie Jones, and we talked about the team's speed. And Montreal, there's evidence of it right there.
Second down, Josh Ronick, and nowhere to go as he's gang tackled at the line of scrimmage on that 2nd and 3 situation.
Well, these are one of the situations where you have to convert. You're 2nd and short, and that means 3 yards or less. You have to convert this to keep the drives going. Just going to run a little double tight. You got to get a hand on everybody. You can't let guys come through there. And right there you see Rob Brown, 94. He comes through. He beats the block at the interior lineman and makes the play, bringing up the punting situation again.
So Glenn Harper standing at his own 19-yard line. Keith Stokes, the sensational returner, threatening Johnny Rogers' punt return single-season record, and it's a short punt by Harper. Stokes has it at the 45. Backtracks, nowhere to go, and he'll lose 5 on the return. Denny Montana in there early, along with Mike Moyer for the Renegades.
Well, good coverage downfield, hitting Montreal on their part of the football field. It's exactly what you want to do. You definitely, after the last special teams breakdown, don't want to go out there and let a guy like Stokes bring one back on you.
Anthony Calvillo having a hallmark season, passing with the Alouettes. He's surpassed 300 yards in a game 8 times and is Montreal's nominee for most outstanding player.
Well, I think that hits it right in the head. He's had an outstanding season. He said he's calling his own plays. And, you know, I love the guy because he's very honest. He says, you know, it's been a challenge, but he's honest about that challenge.
In the shotgun, Calvillo, time goes down the sideline. Thomas Haskins has it, then drops it, leaping out of bounds at the 4.
Job of going around the block by Donovan Carter, getting the hands at the block point. Vaughn almost comes up with it. Donnie Ruiz does, and good smarts. Didn't get touched, picks the ball up and goes into the end zone.
Lawrence Tynes with the point after, and this football game is timed as Donnie Ruiz is there to scramble and pick up that ball. 2 touchdowns on special teams. Donovan Carter savoring his first block punt of the season right up the middle, Chris.
Well, that's a nice thing it's all about. Look at it. He looks down at his timing, get the ball off. You can see number 2 right there. Arms out, great block point angle right there. Ball hits him right in the forearms, rolls down, and it becomes a race. You see Reggie Durden, Montreal number 8, trying to get it. Gerald Vaughn, 39, thinks he's got it, comes off him, and Ruiz eventually picks it up and takes it into the end zone.
Kickoff, and here comes Montreal. Darren Hall hit hard as he crossed the 30-yard line. Mike Villemick, the number 2 pick overall this year, with the tackle on a 23-yard return.
Well, it's a breakdown, and this guy right here, and there's Carter right here. He's responsible for these 2 guys. As we run the play, the up-back does a poor job of blocking him into the kicker. You have to block him to the outside, not into the flight of the football. Craig Carter doesn't do that. That allows the block by Donovan Carter, which results in a touchdown by Donnie Ruiz.
Well, as our spotter Rob Crefo said, Carter was nothing but a speed bump on that play. First down, Alouettes. There's Stokes in the handoff. He gets outside, hit hard, good fill. George McCullough coming up from the secondary to make the tackle.
Well, George McCullough had a rough game last week against Hamilton, playing the halfback position. Much happier to be playing where he likes, and that's on the corner. Just a little sweep action. Give it to the big speedster. Just turns it around, tries to find something. You can see right there, George McCullough breaking off the coverage, coming up, making the play.
Keith Stokes, the electrifying rookie. Look at his all-purpose yards, over 2,000 in his first season in the CFL. As we mentioned, 71 yards from breaking Johnny Rogers' Montreal record for punt returns in a single season. 6 receiver set. Hitch passes wild. Thrown intended for Thomas Haskins, and Dante Gamble was lurking in the shadows.
Well, Dante Gamble was getting another chance to start. Had a big game on one of his first starts against the Alouettes the last time they played in punt return capacity, but there as a secondary player, nice job of breaking that play up.
So Calvillo off the mark there, and a dangerous flat pass inside his own 40-yard line. A punting situation for the Alouettes. Terry Baker, who has commuted between Montreal and Lunenburg, Nova Scotia 13 times this year, where he maintains a business, a novelties business. At his last one punt, gets this one away. A nice high spiral deep. Dante Gamble at his own 26-yard line looks for a block from Capers. He's outside and is pushed into touch in front of the Ottawa bench, and there's a flag on the play.
They threw that flag late just as he's going out of bounds. Dante Gamble is trying to tightrope the sidelines. Anwar Stewart, 58, I believe will get the penalty.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Montreal number 32, first down.
So it's Craig Carr who missed his block on the block punt, getting a penalty there twice on special teams.
Well, you see him tightroping, trying to stay in there. Going low to take the legs of Dante Gamble as he is already out of bounds.
So Don Matthews, who has his finger on the pulse of special teams in this Montreal program, upset with the way it's performing so far. Great field position for Ottawa, starting on the 52. There's a hitch pass. Jimmy Oliver with some great speed, breakaway speed, and across the first down marker.
A nice job of hitch play. Again, the hitch play is only as good as the guys you have blocking for it. Nice job of getting the ball out there quickly to Jimmy Oliver, who is the only receiver in the Renegade lineup to play all 17 games. It'll swing out there, and as he gets out there, the big man Abu Mekrek, 67 out there, George Hudson out there trying to block for him.
Oliver coming into this football game 146 yards shy of 1,000. Roll out, here's the pressure, and trouble. Mark Megna manhandles Crowley with a big sack and a huge loss to center field.
Well, Mark Megna does what he's exactly supposed to do, and that means stay outside. Don't go inside. Don't let him break contain. It's going to come from the bottom of your screen. There's pressure. That forces Crowley outside, but 54, Mark Megna, is going to come in there and make the play. He stays outside the blocker. That forces Crowley back inside as we look at the defensive front four. Villian Brown, Lowe, and Megna with 7 sacks. Great group. Really get after the quarterback.
Rapid Cal, that's 22 sacks in the front four alone. to this pressure defense from Montreal. Here comes the blitz again. Crowley to the air. Nobody there, and a misread. Reggie Jones breaking in as Crowley threw out. And so it'll be 3rd down and 19. Ottawa, and the Renegades will punt.
Well, at least they moved the ball a little positively. See a little pressure coming around the corner right there. Kevin Johnson, the middle linebacker, blitz. Once again, Crowley ending up on his backside, but able to still get the football off. Dan
Crowley was telling us yesterday that it's been a work in progress. He's been in and out of the lineup with different receivers, and he said making quick reads takes time. You've got to be, consistent with your players throughout the year. Flag on that long snap for the punt. Looks like Aaron Miles may have been offside. The question is, was he provoked with movement by the offense?
Yeah, he's supposed to be watching the football. That's exactly what they're doing. He was kind of cheating, trying to anticipate. Remember, he's already got one block punt earlier in this game. Trying to get the jump. This time, I think he's going to get called.
Offside, Montreal, number 31. Repeat, 3rd down.
So it is Miles offside. Jason Krall often makes a motion just before the snap on the Ottawa punt team, and I've seen that before where he's drawn defenders offside.
Well, much like the defensive line, though, you're taught, watch the football. Don't watch the player in front of you. You'll jump.
Nothing changed.
Glenn Harper with a chance to pin Montreal deep in field position. There's the fake. It is Krall with the ball, and he's short of the 1st down by a mile. So Montreal taking over on downs as the Carleton Raven can't convert on the fake punt. Montreal with good field position when we come back. Jason Krall with the failed 3rd down gamble on the fake punt. Chris?
It's an opportunity to try different things, and there you have Jason Krall. It's just going to be a little thing. He's just going to try and come around to the outside. But a good job of the defense not staying inside. The contained man on the cover team coming out, forcing him back inside, bringing him down short of the play, and giving a big turnover for the Montreal defense.
Haskins with a gain of about 5 yards on the play as these two teams match minds and special teams with all kinds of gimmicks. 2 block punts, a fake. So far this afternoon, a 2nd down and about 5.5.
And remember, Ottawa's got nothing to lose. This is the time to try certain things. Open up your whole playbook. See how players respond.
Montreal tried 2 fake punts last week against Montreal. Both were botched. Calvillo to throw on 2nd and 5.5. Pressure, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage by Keaton Cromartie. And so this Ottawa defense continues to rise up here in the early going against the vaunted Montreal offense.
Well, Keaton Cromartie is initially blocked at the line of scrimmage. He falls off the block once. Anthony Calvillo steps up. No pressure, comes off there, blocks. Uzumo Okeke does a nice job. It's one of those times an offensive lineman goes, you got to be kidding me. I've got him. He's right at the top. He's got him right there. But no, he falls off the block. He's on the line of scrimmage. Uzumo, you're doing the job. Just one of those times when the quarterback steps up, you don't know where he is. Defender falls off, makes the play.
Don Matthews' high-powered offense has been sputtering. Terry Baker had a 42-yard punt and 1 blocked so far. Gets this one away and just barely in front of George McCullough. A nice spiral to Dante Gamble at his 16-yard line. Gamble trying to pick his way through the punt cover, and there's no place to go as Jason Richards makes the tackle for Montreal. Here's Brenda.
Well, thanks, Mark. Ottawa linebacker John Grace is out today because of a groin injury. You are Ottawa's CFL representative nominee as top player of the year, both offensively and defensively. Can you tell me why it's been such a great season for you so far?
I think the reason why it's been such a great year for me is that I've been given the opportunity to get out on the field. I mean, that's probably the main thing. The last couple years I haven't been able to play. I mean, I've been watching a lot of games like I'm doing today, but the biggest thing for me this year has been able to get out on the field and to execute and play football.
Tell me, what's the key to stopping Anthony Calvillo today?
The key to stopping Calvillo today is to give him different looks. He's a great quarterback. If you come out and line up in a defense that you're going to run, he's going to beat you because you never want him to know what he's going to do before he snaps the ball. So the thing to beat him is to disguise and do different things and never show him what you're really going to do. Make him work.
Good luck coming back from the injury.
Thank you.
Now let's go back to Mark and Chris.
Tremendous year for John Grace after spending 2 years on the practice roster with his Montreal team. He's proved himself and was a unanimous selection here in Ottawa for outstanding player and top defender. Crowley to pass again. It's an errant throw intended for Reggie Jones. way too high on the look-in, and so the frustrations continue for this Ottawa offense.
Well, it's just one of those situations. You know what you want to do. You've got the right play call. It's one-on-one. Reggie Jones working against cornerback Wayne Shaw. You're doing a little slant in the middle of the football field. It's open. You just got to get the football to him.
Joe Paopao was asked yesterday what sort of attitude he's looking for, and now that his team is out of the playoffs, he said it's cliche to say that my guys are playing for their jobs because I've seen them for 16 weeks, but they better not quit on me in the final 2 weeks of the regular season, as Crowley hopes to solidify his spot on the depth chart for next year in the final 2 weeks of this season.
Let him go!
Punt is away. It's Stokes at the 46. Stokes is forced back again. What tremendous punt cover. Darren Joseph, first man to make contact downfield for the Renegades as the Johnny Rogers threat is repelled. Don Matthews, what a tremendous career, as we mentioned off the top, looking to become the first CFL coach with 200 wins, including playoffs. He's played everywhere, including the mid-'80s with Joe Paopao in BC, then the 2-year term in Saskatchewan with Ty Jones and company. A winner of 4 Grey Cups, one in BC, one with the All-American Baltimore team, and then back-to-back Cups in 96 and 97 with Doug Flutie and the Toronto Argonauts. 1st and 10. Montreal will go on the ground. It's Haskins losing his footing, and then he's gang tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Well, nice job of getting Haskins involved. Get him behind the big hoggies up there, trying to break him through to the linebackers, but good fill by the Ottawa defense. Limiting that to about 3.5 yards. Just look at those stutter step. Actually does slip a little bit. And we know the field here is absolutely wonderful to play on. It's a new field, and they said that because even with all the rainfall, there would be no problems with footwear.
Matthews fashioning this team, rebuilding it, speed and power. 2nd down and 7 for Calvillo. Time, he side hands it away. It's complete to Darren Hall. The rookie will step out of bounds at the 52-yard line with a 1st down, Montreal.
Well, a little rub pattern, springing the receiver. Darren Hall just across the middle, sit there. But look at the throwing lane. That's absolutely beautiful to have a big area like that for AC to throw the football. It just gets it to him, and then it becomes to get to the outside. Dante Gamble eventually forcing him out, but not before he picks up a 1st down.
Hall, the rookie out of Colorado State, fleet and always a threat in this pass-oriented Montreal defense. Play action, balls away. Haskins one-handed it, then was drilled by Gerald Vaughn before he could bring it in. It's incomplete.
Gerald Vaughn loves that. Anytime you're sitting back there as a defender, you're licking your chops when you see the quarterback just going to do a little play action screen, dump it off, and 39 is right there waiting for him. And I actually believe he let off on that one, because I really believe he could have crunched Thomas Haskins. That 4 might have been split into an 8.
Tell you what, Pringle, LaPointe, and Phillips are already hurt. They nearly teed up Haskins for a disaster. 2nd and 10. Alouettes. Movement, and Derek Ford crosses the line of scrimmage as flags fly. Ford, who had 8 sacks at midseason, hasn't had one since the end of August, has been battling a high ankle sprain.
Offside, Ottawa, number 44, beat 2nd down.
Well, the biggest thing is they were disappointed. Did not play last week, was actually benched. He came back, said he was healthy. Now here's a guy that relies almost always on foot speed. Now when you got a high ankle sprain, that negates your rush. You can't get to the quarterback, and as a result, they were upset that he tried to come back too early. They admired the fact he wanted to play, but don't hurt your team by coming back when you're not 100%.
Yeah, don't say you're ready when you're not, and you're right, that didn't please Joe Paopao. 2nd down, Calvillo to the air. It's complete to Copeland, Jermaine Copeland, for a 1st down. Gerald Vaughn there to make the tackle for the Renegades.
Well, Copeland recognizing the zone, just sitting down. Nice, finds a hole right in front of Gerald Vaughn. The ball is delivered quickly, right where it has to be on target. Copeland with the catch, Vaughn with the tackle. But once again, the chains move and another 1st down for this offense.
Jermaine Copeland from Tennessee, another rookie receiver in this revamped Montreal offense. Thomas Haskins with a seam off the left tackle, and he hit that at full speed, close to a 1st down for Montreal.
Well, the big man, OKK, 53, the left tackle, and Bruno Happel, the fullback, open a nice seam for the explosive Haskins to burst through. That's just a nice job, and it's always nice to get you can see there's OKK, there's the outer block, goes right through there. When you create a seam like that, you got a guy with the speed of Haskins, he's going to hurt you.
Up the middle, it's Bruno Happel on second and about a yard. And he has the first down for Montreal. Happel in his 6th season from Western Michigan University. We talked about Don Matthews rebuilding this football team. Veterans were dispatched, Chris. Veterans who were popular in Montreal. And look at this, 1 win from 200. First CFL coach to achieve that, should he do it today.
Love him or hate him, he always has winners.
Calvillo looking deep for Haskins. He's open. It's incomplete. George McCullough caught up in the nick of time.
Well, I think what happened is the ball hung up, and that allowed George McCullough to make up the distance. Haskins initially, good separation from the cover man, McCullough. Had that ball been thrown a little farther, that would have resulted in a big play and perhaps a touchdown. A little bit of a duck, it gets caught up in the air, and that allows McCullough just enough to distract Thomas Haskins for coming down from a catch.
Oh yeah, he got his hand on it, Chris, without looking. DB's often looking at the body language of the receiver they cover, and a clever play there by McCullough. Play action. Calvillo wants to go to the end zone again. Wide open is Copeland. Touchdown, Montreal. Nobody near him for the Renegades. Jermaine Copeland with his 2nd touchdown of the season.
Well, that's what you call a miscue. Defensive backfield right there. Byron Capers, Roundtree, not recognizing who has who, allowing Jermaine Copeland to be wide open. And those are the worst for a receiver because he says, you know, I know I'm so open, just don't let me drop the football.
So Calvillo finds his passing stride, throwing for his 25th touchdown of the season as Terry Baker comes to the point after. It's good. And the Alouettes take a 14-7 lead as the gun sounds to end the opening quarter at Clair Stadium in Ottawa. The East's probable nominee for most outstanding player hits the end zone as special teams rule the first quarter in Ottawa.
You are watching the Canadian Football League, brought to you by America One.
Calvillo with his 25th touchdown pass of the year. Chris, he's now just 2 away from tying the great Sonny Wade for 2nd place all time in Montreal.
Well, it all starts with the guys up front. You got to have time to throw the football. Little play action. Now look, just look at this right here. Look at this pocket. That's exactly what you want to do. You let him just sit down like that. He's got all time in the world to throw the football. No pressure. And look at the end result. A broken coverage, mind you, by the Renegade defense. Copeland wide open. And as you say, the 25th touchdown toss by AC.
There's a total now of 87 in Montreal and just 2 shy of Sonny Wade. Gamble drops the kickoff, goes back to the 8 to pick it up. Circled now, regrouping, goes back again to the 7 or 8 yard line, gets a block and a seam. And Sylvain Girard hog-ties him as he crosses the 17-yard line. But Gamble putting a bit of a skip in the heart of Joe Popow there.
Well, you got to put in your most dangerous guys. As we look at the first quarter stats, pretty defense orientated. 4 first downs for Montreal, only 1 for the Renegades. But the turnovers, I mean, this is the key right here. Obviously, you got 2 blocked punts, 1 going each way, both resulting in touchdowns.
So Dante Gamble with a 5-yard return. I think he ran about 25 yards to get that. The number 6 all-time kickoff returner this year as Calvillo gets on the headset. To shore up the game plan for the next series. He's calling his own plays now. And he says it's allowed him to be more in sync with what's happening in front of him. Here's the blitz. Ball is away. Mike Moore has it, but he's nailed by William Loftus immediately for a short gain on the play.
That's a nice job of just sitting back there. The pressure's coming. Crowley talked about the fact they've got to get rid of the ball quickly, and the receiver has to be in the right spot. It was. But Loftus with a nice job of keeping him in front of him. The safety comes up and wraps him up after only a 4-yard gain.
So it's 2nd and 6 for Dan Crowley and the Ottawa Renegades at their own 21-yard line. High formation backfield. He gets the ball away, intended for Damon Hodge, but those ball hawks closed on that one immediately, and again Loftus was in the neighborhood. Incomplete. Ottawa will punt.
Well, Damon Hodge and Reggie Jones are too close together. Usually when they run a pattern like that, you're going to have one guy. Nice job, just Durden with a little tug on that. That's a little pass interference. Lucky to get away with that. He's pointing at the referee. Come on, you got to call that. You see Reggie Jones come on your screen just prior to that. Now he's supposed to clear it out. So if he's going to run a seam route, he's going to go deep, and that'll take the defender away. That'll create the opening that Hodge needs to make that play.
Ottawa 5 times 2 and out on offense so far this afternoon as Keith Stokes, the dangerous punt returner, awaits this offering from Glenn Harper. Harper, trouble! It's blocked again! Washington gets the block, and he may have the fumble as Jason Kralt wrestles him for the ball. Second block punt for Glenn Harper in this opening half of football.
I'll tell you what, they bring pressure. These two guys right here on the outside, you got Mark Washington at the top, Sylvain Girard on the bottom. Nobody takes them. They both have a shot at the ball. Washington with the block and the recovery, and another breakdown on special teams by the Ottawa Renegades.
And so it's 1st and goal. Montreal from the 7. Calvillo to the end zone for Copeland in a real battle there, and there's a late flag as Gamble and Copeland wrestled over that pass, Chris.
Well, they're trying to get Copeland, the tallest receiver on the Alouettes at 6'2", working against 5'7" Dante Gamble. Little protection up there. Throw it up in the air and hope the big receiver get away. Tries to push off a little bit. But they're going to say that Gamble interfered with his ability to catch the football. Fans don't like it. The referee right there.
Interference against Dante Gamble as Montreal brings in the big team. Fleiser come in on the line of scrimmage. 1st and goal from the 1, Montreal. Calvillo up behind Big Brian Chew. They'll stay on the ground. Haskins, touchdown, Alouettes. Thomas Haskins with his 2nd rushing touchdown and 9th of the season. And the Owls quickly build a 2-touchdown lead.
Well, penalties will hurt you. Obviously, the pass interference penalty against Dante Gamble puts it on the 1-yard line. And you're going to run a little double tight, some big boys. And, I mean, Thomas Haskins just jaunts in there untouched. That's an easy touchdown. And we talked about the fact that Ottawa can ill afford to get behind in this football game. And it's slowly starting to develop that way with what's about to be 21 after the convert to 7 for Montreal.
Terry Baker with the point after. It is indeed 21-7 Montreal as Thomas Haskins subbing for the injured Lawrence Phillips, the versatile offensive threat for Montreal, moves from his slot back position to running back and gets his 2nd major on the ground.
Well, the biggest thing about Thomas Haskins is he can hurt you in the backfield, but he's a great pass receiver. And it's what he does after he catches a football that really hurts you, the yak yards, the yards after the catch. This particular play gets it from the backfield as a running back, but great blocking out front. Tim Fleiser coming in. The backup defensive lineman, he lines up at the tight end or the hoggy position outside OKK, the left tackle, and they create a nice little seam right there. And Thomas Haskins just jaunts in the end zone.
We talked about Anthony Calvillo calling his own plays. He mentioned it was a challenge yesterday, but he said we're not one play behind like we were last year with Dan Machocha, the offensive coordinator. You can see Jim Parker in the far end of the spotters booth, the offensive coordinator. They'll share the play selection for each series before he goes out onto the field. But he said last year he'd see things, go back to the bench, tell his coach in the sidelines, we should have done this, we should have done that. But he said it was a play too late by the time he made that decision.
Well, remember, you only got 20 seconds to get a play off here, so it's real important that you have it quickly in your huddle to be able to give it to your rest of your teammates on the offense. And I think that that's one of the things that Cavillo likes, the fact that he has the ability now to get it in there. You fully utilize the 20 seconds, and that allows him to audible if he has to.
The ball is away, and it's Dante Gamble, whose interference led to that 1-yard touchdown, and he's high-stepping his way into freedom. Gamble outside. He has to beat Baker. Here comes Reggie Durden to track him down. Durden's got the angle and runs Gamble out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Redemption for Gamble.
Well, special teams is really the story of the first half right now. Dante Gamble, who had that pass interference called earlier, does a nice job of taking it up in the hole. That's exactly what you got to do. Get behind your blockers and then break to the outside. Does a nice job. But Reggie Durden, number 8, look at the closing speed. That's a nice job of getting all the way over there, pushing him over, getting him out of bounds, preventing a touchdown by Dante Gamble.
Little straight arm by Gamble as he goes out of bounds, but not until a 75-yard run back, his longest of the season, putting Ottawa in tremendous shape here. First down on the Montreal 20. The Ottawa offense, 5 straight drives, 2 plays and a punt in a double tight end formation, but they'll pass by showing run. The ball's tipped, and it's nearly completed. No, it's loose, although it looked like there was some contact as Reggie Jones was trying to make the reception.
Good initial time for Crowley to find somebody to throw the football, but as you say, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. Rob Brown, 94, left defensive tackle with the paw up. Then Loftus, the safety, almost coming over with an interception, but again, a good job of the defense of the interior lineman of the Montreal Alouette defense, getting the hands up.
You can see Loftus making contact, but that's legal once the ball's been tipped. It's second down and 10. Ottawa at the 20 of the Alouettes. Crowley, here comes the blitz, gets the ball away. It's complete to Jimmy Oliver, but Oliver is short of the first down, and there are flags on the play.
A flag thrown from the sideline, which may indicate an offside. They usually had a little argument about who's going against. I think it's against Montreal as they mark it off.
Oh, this would be a big break. It is offside, Alouettes. The indication from Glenn Johnson.
You can usually tell where the flag is thrown. It's either an offside or a procedure against the receiver if he lines up offside. If the flag is thrown behind the huddle, it's usually a holding penalty. That one was on the sideline, and
Offside, Montreal, number 94. Repeat second down.
What a day for special teams. 3 block punts, the big run back here as Ottawa tries to match wits with the wizard of special teams.
Well, remember what happened last week. Tony Miles of Hamilton returned a big one.
He did.
Against the cover team of the Alouettes as well.
67.
So that's something they got to work at.
So it's second down for Ottawa. 5 yards to go. Ball on the Montreal 15. 5-receiver set. Crowley's pass is complete to Aubrey Cummings, who stumbles very close to the first down at the Montreal 10.
Well, it's just a situation of bringing too many guys and bringing a corner blitz. Everybody's coming. One free guy. Now it's up to Crowley. Get rid of the football before they get to you. He does it. He gets to Cummings. But they can't pick up the one free guy. The running back is supposed to check inside, outside. Ronick checks inside. Nobody comes. He goes to the outside. The delayed blitz. Then they bring the inside guy. He forces Crowley to throw the football quicker than he wants to. Does a nice job of getting it out to Cummings. Now we'll see if they get the first down as we watch the measure.
It is a first down as Crowley checks in with Joe Pawpaw and Doug Nussmeier on the Ottawa bench.
And that's what you have to do. You want to beat the blitz, you got to burn it. You got to make the Alouette defense change to you. They're a defense that comes after you and force your offense to adapt to them. You want to beat Montreal, you got to make that defense adapt to your offense. You got to switch it around.
First and goal for the Renegades. As Kevin Johnson looks into the backfield, play action rolling. Crowley has some space, gets outside. Stephon Reed diving for the end zone and just short as he goes out of bounds. They'll mark it at about the 4, Chris, and Crowley was shaken up on the play.
Yeah, he's getting up. A little help from Abu Mekrek. But a nice job again, and not forcing a situation. This is one of the things I like about Crowley here. He doesn't try and force something. Now look, Stefan Reed's doing it right, but he's in one of those situations. He's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Can't pitch. He's got to play the pitch man. They're trying to run a little shovel pass, gets to the outside, then he uses his foot speed, tuck the ball away. That's the only thing I would say about that play right there. You can't hold it out like a loaf of bread.
William Loftus clubbed him on the back of the head as he was going out of bounds. That appeared to shake up the Ottawa quarterback, but he's staying in. Second down on the 4. Passing to the end zone. The quarter pattern for Aubrey Cummings. Tries to one-hand it. Incomplete. Strickland, the linebacker, with close coverage on the play.
What a nice job again of picking up the blitz. Josh Ronick's going to sit in the backfield. He picks up the blitzing linebacker. Now 44 is coming. He gets picked up. That allows Crowley to throw the football. Nice job of picking him up. Cummings trying to make a one-handed catch.
Strickland using the arm in the midsection too to put Cummings off balance and breaking up what looked like a promising pass to the corner. Oh, and for a moment there, Dan Crowley thought he had the touchdown. It will be 3rd down and 4, and Ottawa is going for it. Crowley up behind George Hudson. Pitch out behind Josh Ronick. He's got it, but Ottawa blows a great opportunity from the 4 and will turn the ball over on downs. Fans booing at Frank Clair Stadium. Dan Crowley disappointed and still looking dazed. You have to wonder if that headshot had any influence on the errant pitch.
Anytime you're going to run a pitch, this guy has to get this guy sealed. This guy gets this guy. He doesn't get that. They go to the wrong guy. That allows Stefan Reed to come free, forces a bad pitch. As a result, Ronick has to recover it, but another wasted opportunity.
Here's pressure on Calvillo. He escapes and he'll run. Calvillo for close to a first down as Kelly Wiltshire makes the tackle, the leading tackler on this Renegade defense. You know, he's been battling a hamstring, and he says, I'm a lot faster than people think.
I think I am fast, and I try to go out there and get first downs when I can. And, you know, the second half of the season, I had a pulled hamstring, and it's really affected the things that I could do on the football field in terms of picking up that extra first down when it's second and medium or second long where I could scramble. And that's what I need to get back to.
Well, the soft-spoken Calvillo looking fleet there with a first down scramble. Goes on the ground to Thomas Haskins. Right side, and Haskins pushing the pile across the 35-yard line.
Well, we know that they can hurt you through the air. This is a team, Montreal, that used to live off the run and throw second. Now this year, new philosophy, they throw first and run second. They've totally reversed the situations. They're very successful, and they still got a strong running game.
Jim Popp, the general manager, telling us yesterday that in years past there was pressure from Mike Pringle. He wanted the football. He wanted the handoffs, and he said Lawrence Phillips does not ask for the ball this year as they've gone to that oriented attack. Play action. Mike Moreau has got him. Oh, he reached out, Moreau did, for the sack. His first.
That is just a nice job of playing the position by Moreau. Staying there, not getting tricked by the play action. He's just going to come out here and stays there. Now, see, he doesn't go inside. He stays on his line. That allows him to come off, make the play, and make the sack on Calvillo.
Calvillo with a risky pump there, too, as he was going down on the sack, and so the Ottawa defense will force Montreal to punt.
Yep,
as Mike Moreau, the third-year man out of Miami of Ohio, makes the big sack.
He may be happy because that's his first sack since July 4th. So it'll be a long time in between sacks, but that's going to make you feel pretty good.
Falls away and nearly it's punted. It's blocked. It's Carter again. I think he caught that, Chris. I looked up because the ball didn't go anywhere, and it was in Donovan Carter's hands. His second blocked punt of the game, and Ottawa has threatening field position when we come back. Donovan Carter with his second block punt of the game is the fourth block punt in total in this first half, Chris.
Well, he's right over here. Here he is. Now, here's the guy that's got to block him. He's got to take him this way. He lets him come in right into the block point again. This is a second mistake made by Craig Carr. As he does it, he blocks him again, lowers his shoulder and lowers him and pushes him into the line of the football. You want to make sure that you take the attacker to the outside.
Crowley throwing for the end zone, looking for Oliver, and he can't get there. Can't get around Perry Carter, who really blocked his path.
Well, it's not very often we have a pack of blocked punts, but that's what we got today. We got the first one that resulted in a Happel touchdown. And of course, Carter not to be undone for Ottawa. This ends in a touchdown for Donnie Ruiz, who smartly gets up, and another one. Harper blocked, and they're taking turns. As Baker even thought he got that ball off, you see him looking skyward, thinking the ball's gone, and Carter with his second one. Special teams meetings may be a little longer for both these teams this week.
Crowley complete. Reggie Jones at the 5-yard line, and an Ottawa first down. Jones slow to get up after taking a real shot, and he'll stay down, Chris.
Nice job just sitting down there, good protection. Chris Burns, nice job of getting Anwar Stewart to the outside. Ball is right there. Good tackling. Doesn't look like he got hit very hard, but as you say, very gingerly, still on the ground right now.
Wayne Shaw with some support from Stéphane Fortin. Oh.
Well, I believe,
difficulty.
yeah, you know, usually you get the wind knocked out of you, and I think he just got hit in the lower extremities. He'll be fine.
We'll check on Reggie Jones when we come back to Ottawa. Welcome back to Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa. Montreal up by 2, but Ottawa threatening. Reggie Jones still down after taking the hit after his first down catch at the 5.
Well, after he makes the catch, kind of gets it around there. As he's brought down, I think we'll use the terminology they use in boxing, just basically a little bit of a low blow.
Gentleman Jerry Cooney type shot, and they're helping him off the field. Looks like he's favoring his leg as he makes his way to the Ottawa bench after getting that shot in the high groin area. So it'll be first and goal, Ottawa at the 5. On the last series, they were down on the 4, and they botched it up on that third down pitch. Crowley with 3 backs in the backfield. Motion now left, keeping Ronick alone. He'll hand off Ronick right side, and Kevin Johnson hits him for a loss.
Well, trying to run a double tight, bringing in the running backs. They're not going to go with the big guys. They're just going to put running backs with Mike Moore. You see him down on the ground. He's had just a hard luck year this year. Broke his hand, had a high ankle sprain. He's missed about 10 games through injuries, and we hope this isn't serious as we see him on the ground right now. And obviously seems to be in a lot of pain. Just a handoff and good penetration and good flow. The whole key to that is your defensive line are taking up the offensive line. That allows the middle linebacker, Kevin Johnson, to flow down the line of scrimmage and make that play.
So they're working on Moyer's right leg, and he's still down here in Ottawa. Again. So the ankle had problems earlier in the year, and looks like they're working on that right ankle right now for Mike Moyer. Former Regina junior is in a lot of difficulty at the 5.
Well, earlier on the year, we mentioned he missed 4 games with the high ankle sprain, and it seems to me that, Mark, they are working in that same area right now. He's just on the left side. You can see him kind of come down trying to make that block, and he gets rolled over. He actually goes over George Hudson, the center, who's trying to reach down and make a block. Kind of gets that ankle and it gets rolled over on it, and as a result, once again, another ankle problem.
So Steve Dias, the athletic therapist, continues to check on Mike Moyer. Mike Moyer being helped off the field by Steve Dias. Another look at how he was injured, Chris.
Well, he's just basically down in the ball. He's right up there. You can see basically right here, just gets that ankle caught right. And as a result, the foot is trapped in the turf. George Hudson rolls. And I tell you what, the end result is this picture right there. And a picture's worth 1,000 words. I don't think we have to say any more about this. We only hope it's not as serious as it has been in the past and causing him to miss many games.
So Moyer hobbled, and it'll be a second and goal situation from the 6 now. A loss of 1 on the handoff to Ronick. A 5-receiver set for Ottawa. A golden chance here to get back in this football game. Here's the pressure from the edge. Corner pass, end zone, incomplete. Fans complaining that Montana was interfered by Tim Strickland, but there are no flags.
Well, they don't go with a double tight down here by the goal line. They decide to stay with the regular offense, try and spread them out. Montreal's going to press here. They're going to bring 7 guys. As a result, even with the fullback blocking on offense, 1 guy's free. That free guy forces Crowley to throw that football quickly. Ends up incomplete.
Wayne Shaw with the close coverage at the corner position.
Denny Montana claimed that he was pushed out of bounds by Wayne Shaw.
They'll go for it again. 3rd and goal. Back to pass. End zone. Incomplete. Flags are down. Baron Miles all over Damon Hodge.
Well, maybe another offside call and maybe a break for the Ottawa Renegades. That flag once again thrown by the sideline.
Boy, what pressure this Montreal defense brings, even in the shadows of its own goalposts, as Don Matthews.
Offside, Montreal, number 20, repeat 3rd down.
Matthews' defense is solid, but Perry Carter called for the offside on what would have been a blown 3rd down play for Ottawa. So another chance, Chris, for the Renegades.
A little slant trying to hit Hodge on the pattern. Stephon Reed coming on the blitz. Ball's where it has to be. Just got to come up with the catch.
So the ball on target, but not caught. It'll be half the distance to the goal line. On the 3 now. 3rd down repeated for Ottawa. And they will go for it again instead of trying to take the points with a field goal. Jones is back in the football game at receiver. Play action, more pressure. Crowley now bailing to his left. Running for his life. Here comes Strickland. Crowley throwing into the end zone. Overthrown, and a flag on the play. Stefan Fortin, it looks, will be called for interference. Another flag now back at the 15. Behind the play as the Ottawa receivers continue to have an aggressive duel with these DBs from Montreal.
Well, once again, you talked about the philosophy of the Alouette defense. It's in your face. We're going to come after you, force you to make a mistake. Dan Crowley does a nice job of avoiding the pressure, getting to the outside, throws it back into the end zone, and as you say, Fortin in the game as a nickelback, an extra defensive back cover, runs through the receiver who's intending to catch that football, and the flag is thrown.
Well, Val St. Germain, the Ottawa lineman, the left guard, is down on one knee and clutching his face. It looks like his eye And Chris, usually that signals some sort of an eye gouge.
Well, an eye poke, a lot of times you're in there and, you know, you got fingers going everywhere. Guys on the defense are trying to grab your jersey, and every once in a while, one of those fingers, rather large, will poke through the face mask.
Forward pass interference, Montreal. After the play, we have unnecessary roughness on Ottawa and unnecessary roughness on Montreal. It's first down on the 1.
So that interference against Fortin costly, because I don't think they would have caught this ball. It was overthrown.
Well, but it's a good job of Crowley not forcing the football at that particular point. Trying to come over, set back, throw the football, trying to make something positive happen. And you can see right at the end there, 35, Fortin runs through the receiver, the intended receiver, Aubrey Cummings, in the back of the end zone. The flag is thrown, a little bit of a skirmish behind the play, and it may have involved Val St. Germain, who had a, as you say, an eye injury. They may have been a little finger point.
Wow, so another great break for the Renegades. 2 blown third down gambles, and now it's first and goal from the 1-yard line.
But you have to take advantage of these situations.
Right you are, big man. As the Ottawa team breaks the huddle. Ronick, the lone man in the backfield. Cummings in formation, confusion now. Ronick leads, it'll be a quarterback sneak. Touchdown, Renegades, Crowley for Ottawa.
I think for this particular time, it is very fortunate that the Renegades had the quarterback sneak called. As you say, it looked like some confusion in the backfield. As we see the center, and they can ill afford. You see George Hudson going off the football field, holding that left arm.
He was down at the bottom of that pileup.
But once again, the initial start of the offensive play is confusion. Aubrey Cummings coming around, runs into the other back. And as a result, they're very fortunate didn't have a toss called or anything that was involving those 2 particular players.
There's the confusion in the
Well, you see, they run right into each other right there, and that's not very good. I mean, as I say, it's a smart call right there that they had the quarterback sneak and tucked in behind big George Hudson, St. Germain, and Abu Mekrek.
And there's George Hudson down on the bench. They have one backup. It's the rookie Alexandre Gauthier from Laval. But Hudson was pressed in at center when the veteran Carl Coulter couldn't go because of a knee injury.
We said, do you expect to play Gauthier, their #1 draft pick today? And he said, only in an emergency. Well, you see big 66 there. You're going to be in the football game shortly.
And there's the cooler, Carl Coulter, missing his first game in 7 years, a captain on this team and a real inspirational leader for the Ottawa Renegades. His presence, I'm sure, felt on that sideline this afternoon as he helps George Hudson through his first start of the year at center. But the prospect for Alexandre Gauthier, dressing for only the 2nd time this year, Chris, getting into the lineup now because of the injury.
Well, the big question is now, George Hudson is your center. He's replacing Carl Coulter. Now, if George Hudson can't go, and we see him walking around, hopefully he's all right. The question is, who will go back to center? And I believe that Mike Abu Mekrek played little center in Winnipeg, but I mean, we're talking about one change affecting the entire line.
Darren Hall at his own 25, a big seam up the middle, and he's got some speed. Finally dragged down as he approached the 50-yard line as we take a look at the anatomy of that last Ottawa touchdown. Baker blocked, smothered by Donovan Carter, his 2nd block punt of the game. Then Crowley in trouble, flush, rolling to his left now, really throwing it up for grabs under pressure. It's too high, but the interference call against Fortin gives them new life. It's first and goal from the 1, and the quarterback sneak is good for Crowley's 4th touchdown on the ground this season. As we join Brenda.
Well, Mark, I just spoke with George Hudson. He said that he just experienced a stinger. He's going to be okay. We'll be back in the game. As for Ottawa's Mike Moyer, well, he's had ankle problems, as you guys mentioned before. Apparently, he just rolled his ankle, but the doctors are assessing it right now. He's not sure if he's going to be able to come back to play this afternoon.
Oh, that was close as the Montreal receiver went down, and Dante Gamble was all by himself. If he could have closed on that ball, it was nothing but end zone.
Well, Kwame Cavill getting his first opportunity to play for the Alouettes, just slips and just out of the outstretched hands of Dante Gamble. And had he caught that with his speed, he would have took it all the way.
Kwame Cavill, the rookie, wearing Chuck Clamy's old 82. And now George McCullough is down. McCullough dropping at center field after that last play.
Well, the way they're working on that, it almost looks like a cramp. Right leg, trying to get him a little stretch right there.
So the NFL veteran of 41 games being attended to at center field. George McCullough still getting some therapy on the field, and the reinforcements are coming in for the Renegades. It's Donnie Ruiz, who had a touchdown in the first quarter on that block punt, coming in at the corner spot. Or will he move inside, and will they flank Dante Gamble outside?
Well, that's one of the situations of when you have one injury, you don't want it to affect your entire team or make two changes as a result of one injury, so they may just put him on the outside.
Yes, Gamble moving to the cornerback position on this 2nd down and 10 situation for Montreal at their own 48. 4:40 to go in the first half. Calvillo in the shotgun, across the middle, wide open, Jermaine Copeland. He's rocked by Donovan Carter, but he's got a big first down.
Well, I think this is a smart job. Anthony Cavill sees there's a guy down, a newcomer comes back in the lineup. Let's throw the football. They're going to sit back on their heels a little bit. Remember, every time you bring a new guy in the secondary, the biggest thing you want to do is not make a mistake. So what happens is you already know that they're tentative. They're going to sit back on their heels. Great job of exploiting that.
Calvillo on the ground. Thomas Haskins slipping and sliding, shifting his way for a gain of about 4 on the play. Make it closer to 5 as Kelly Wiltshire moves in to make the tackle. Wiltshire in his 17th game of the season. A no-huddle offense as Montreal goes hurry up here. 2nd down and 4.5. Calvillo complete to Thomas Haskins. Haskins diving for a first down.
That's first, Glenn.
That's a nice job of Cavill utilizing the clock as well, going hurry up, not allowing the Renegades to get their defensive signal sent in. We know you got a new guy in. Let's even compound it further by not allowing them to get their calls defensively. We know if we do that, we may get a chance to find another breakdown. Remember Copeland earlier in the first quarter exploited a breakdown in the secondary for an easy touchdown.
Calvillo calling the plays at the line of scrimmage. He's got time now. Will roll to his left, throws to the sideline. It's complete to Ben Cahoon at the 20-yard line, and another Montreal first down. The 1,000-yard receiver having a personal best season after moving to slot back from wide receiver this year.
Well, they didn't think he'd make it. A lot more traffic inside. He said there's a lot more knocks, but he's a tough competitor. He's done exactly what he's been asked of, and I think he's responded greatly.
George McCullough bouncing on the Ottawa sideline. Looks like he's ready to come back after sitting out his mandatory 3 plays after going down. It is first down Montreal at the Ottawa 20-yard line. Calvillo, play action, rolling right. Gets it away to Haskins. He's got it. Catches it right at his shoestring level, and that is drilled immediately by Troy Aspel, the middle linebacker, for little or no gain on the play. Don Matthews telling us yesterday that Anthony Calvillo, at 29 years of age, a 9-year veteran, it was time for him to assume the mantle of this offense, and that's why he's given him the reins to call his own plays. And so far on this drive, he's been terrific, going hurry up with a chance there in the huddle at the 3-minute warning to the end zone. Touchdown, Cavill, the rookie. Good hands to hold on after being rocked by Carter, and Calvillo throws an arrow. The rookie scores his first CFL touchdown.
Well, from Cavill, say that 10 times. He does a nice job of getting one-on-one coverage. Dante Gamble just brings him back in inside to the post. Nice job, and as you say, great hands, going up high, climbing a ladder, holding on it, knowing full well he's going to get some contact after he catches the football.
Yeah, there were footsteps all around, but Kwame Cavill gets his first CFL touchdown with the point after. Montreal reestablishes its big lead of 2 touchdowns.
Well, if you're Ottawa, that's what you didn't want to have happen. You got a little life on your bench, but the showing of a good football team. Montreal just comes back and in your face. Nice job, good protection, throws it up high. As you say, Cavill on his first start, opportunity to make some noise out there offensively. Wants to make the decision-making process for Coach Don Matthews. Very hard to take him out of the lineup.
Anthony Calvillo with his second touchdown pass of the game, his 26th of the season, and now he's just one away from tying Sonny Wade for career touchdown passes as an Alouette. He has 88. Wade one ahead with 89. There's the drive, 8 plays as Calvillo mixed it up with hurry up, audibles, and then the strike after the 3-minute warning to the rookie who's savoring this moment of fame.
Well, you know what, I like what you said, Mark, the fact that Matthews said that, Cavill, you know, you're going to be the man, you're going to be the, you know, the fire that fuels this ship. But we're going to surround you with speed. We're going to surround you with outstanding athletes to make that job easier. He says, I predict if we do what we're supposed to do and we follow it to the note, you will be the East Division most outstanding player, and that's come true already.
Campbell takes Baker's kickoff on one bounce, tries to get outside, breaks one tackle, still going, then dropped as he hits the 35-yard line. A 62-yard kick and a 22-yard return. Here's Brenda.
Well, coming up at the half, we will bring you Chris Walby's pro tips. This week, the finer art of the long snap, and we'll continue our Canadian Football Heroes series. This week, we'll sit down with Montreal's Ben Cahoon.
What a great year Ben Cahoon is having. Calls it the tortoise and hare type concept. He's not big, he's not fast, but he gets open and he's got great hands as Dan Crowley gets set to go back to work after the 1-yard touchdown plunge. Crowley has faced enormous pressure here as the Montreal defense continues to rush one more than Ottawa blocks. There's a handoff, and it was nearly picked off by the Montreal defense. Ronick puts his head down and gains a yard maybe on the play.
Well, the linebacking crew, Strickland, Johnson, and Stephon Reed, they do such a nice job of playing on that line of scrimmage. They can either come, they can drop, they'll throw so many different looks at you, and as a result, you're not sure. So if you got a running play and they force it back inside, 44 Kevin Johnson comes right free through the middle. He makes the initial touch, the initial stop, and then the rest of the teammates with the speed we talked about wrap them up.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9, an errant snap there to the right. Flags are down, and the indication is procedure against the Renegades.
Well, Mike Abu-Mekrek, the right guard, pulled out of there a little ahead of time, and that's another thing that happens when you play a pressure defense. You start looking at who you have to block, and you forget the snap count a lot of times.
Procedure, Ottawa, number 67, repeat 2nd down.
Well, the right guard, he's just right in here. He's just going to jump back a little bit right now, and that's a simple case of just trying to get out there, getting on your man quickly.
And that snap from Hudson was wide right, and well, that's so critical. You've got
but remember
center,
this,
Chris, first-time center with a quarterback, 3 practices in a pressure defense.
Remember this, when he went off, he had a stinger. He was on his right arm.
Here's the blitz again. Crowley going deep downfield. Jimmy Oliver dives. There's a flag, and it looks like interference. Perry Carter in coverage for Montreal.
This is a good call because of the fact Perry Carter grabs the arm. They have a little chat there, but he knows he was beat, and he grabs the arm and doesn't allow Jimmy Oliver, who's working one-on-one, little shake and bake coming back inside. Just going to grab the arm, and as he grabs the arm, that does not allow Jimmy Oliver to come up with the catch, and the referee right there throwing the flag. That's a good call.
Second interference call, second pass interference against the Alouettes in the second quarter with 1:58 to go until halftime. Ottawa at center field, their own 54-yard line and a first down. Pressure again. Crowley gets it away. It's complete. Reggie Jones breaks the tackle of Wayne Shaw and gets across the 40 inside to the 36 of Montreal. They're in field goal range for Lawrence Tynes now.
Well, it's an interesting play. once again gets rid of it quickly. Over the head of Aubrey Cummings, who almost thought it was his ball. He decides not to try and catch it. Goes over his head. Reggie Jones comes up with it, makes a big play. It doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it.
Yes, Jones back from that injury with a big catch here. Another Ottawa first down. Here comes the pressure. Crowley reverses his field. The hitch pass. Oh, that was dangerous. And Jimmy Oliver is ridden into the turf by Baron Miles.
Little play action to the wide side of field. Quick turnaround, come back to the short, trying to give it to Jimmy Oliver, but Baron Miles, great football instinct on a football field, smells this one out a mile away. And as you say, very fortunate for one more step. He's picking that and he's going all the other way.
Yeah, reverse pivot out of the shotgun by Dan Crowley, but he took a little extra time to get the ball away, and that allowed the defenders to close. It's a loss of 1. Second down and 11. Ottawa. Blitz again, drop ball. Crowley picks it up, makes a run for it. He's still going. Crowley with a first down, very close to it on a broken play as the QB signals it emphatically.
Well, you want to bring 8 guys. Crowley obviously very fortunate to get this ball after he mishandles it, but goes through the middle, tacks it right at the heart of that defense. Picks up the ball. Now look at the line. He breaks the tackle. Now this is determination. Nice job of Dak Crowley to keep the feet driving to pick up the first down.
Look at the snap, Chris. Low as the quarterback's looking over the defense.
We talked about Hudson getting a stinger earlier in the game. On his right shoulder, right arm, felt a little numb. Now remember, that's the arm that's snapping the ball in the shotgun situations. As you say, maybe a result of that low snap.
Crowley calling an audible at the line of scrimmage after the first down scramble. He drops the snap. It's in his hands. He rolls from the pressure. Crowley now throwing to the end zone. Jimmy Oliver! Touchdown! What a catch! Oh, what a grab! Jimmy Oliver on a 26-yard touchdown catch. His 5th of the season.
Well, I got to tell you what I think should happen here, Mark. I think they should put this in the offense. Fumble the ball up every snap. It seems to freeze the Montreal defense. Dan Crowley once again very fortunate to get that ball again after he fumbles it. Makes something out of nothing, gets outside, and a nice throw, but what a one-handed grab. Great concentration by Jimmy Oliver to come down with that football.
Harry Carter again in that tight competition on the coverage, beaten by Jimmy Oliver. And this Ottawa football team closes the gap to 1 touchdown. The Renegades, hey, they're out of the playoffs, but they're not giving up here today.
Well, second time. That was in his hands this time. Crowley misplays the football, gets to the outside. Good athletic mobility. Get to the outside to buy him some more time, but what a great grab by Jimmy Oliver. That's something that'll lift your entire team right now. That's exactly what you got to do. You got to get big plays from your big-time players. Jimmy Oliver does that right there with that one-handed stab.
Jimmy Oliver with 3 catches for 39 and 1 touchdown, and Don Matthews' football team is in a game.
Now, and remember, the guy he beat on that play, Perry Carter, was the one that kept the drive alive with the pass interference earlier in that drive.
Congratulations for Oliver, the leading Ottawa receiver, coming in 146 yards shy of 1,000 with 39. He's closing that gap. Final 2 games of the regular season. You can see the steam coming off the players. It's cold, it's damp here along the Rideau Canal, and that might be a factor in handling that football. It's been slick this year at the best of times, and especially in cold conditions. Crowley, though, buoyant on the Ottawa bench as they kick it off. Lawrence Tyne sending the ball to the 19-yard line. Keith Stokes goes outside. Stokes now at center field, and Byron Capers deftly fends off the block to help make the tackle. A 40-yard return by Keith Stokes as we join Brenda.
Well, tonight on Hockey Night in Canada, viewers in most of the country will see the Canadians and the Senators. Meanwhile, hockey fans in Newfoundland and Ontario, with the exception of Ottawa, can watch the Rangers and the Leafs. Then on the full network, our second game has the Dallas Stars in Vancouver.
Keith Stokes, the rookie candidate for Montreal. He had 224 yards in that win over Edmonton earlier this year to break a Montreal record. Great kick return there. Calvillo goes deep. Sylvain Girard on the sideline. He's got it! Oh, Dante Gamble right there. But Calvillo's pass on the number, and the 4-year man out of Concordia with a 41-yard pickup.
Well, remember this, the last series. Calvillo sits down there. He's picking on Gamble, number 15. He's going after him. Calvillo gets the big touchdown last time. He comes right back at him again. This time he's going to go with Sylvain Girard right down the sideline, one-on-one coverage. As you say, a beautiful throw right where it has to be. Dante Gamble has got to start playing the football.
First and goal, back to the end zone. Incomplete. Copeland, the intended receiver, but Gamble again continues to be the defensive back they're picking on.
Well, remember, I mean, nothing against Dante Gamble. He's only 5'7". If I got Copeland 6'2", I got some height, I can get him up there.
George McCullough has not returned from that injury, although he looked to be limbering up moments ago on the Ottawa bench. And so it'll be second and goal, Montreal, from the 9-yard line of the Renegades, as Calvillo matches Crowley through the air. AC, shotgun formation, right back, same play against Gamble. Flag, it's caught. Touchdown, the indication, but flags are down. Now they'll have a conference.
Well, Dante Gamble's trying to get them to call offensive pass interference.
Copeland made the catch on Dante Gamble, but now was he in or out?
Well, they're also saying that, see, what Dante is saying also is that he pushed off to make that catch. That Copeland, Jermaine Copeland, pushed off.
Well, the officials conference, the Alouettes and Joe Paupau on the Renegades bench awaits the decision in what has been a terrific, high-flying second quarter of football. Now, Glenn Johnson with the ruling.
Forward pass interference. Ottawa number 15. That penalty's declined to touchdown.
Well, we talked about the fact they were going after Dante Gamble. They went after him 4 plays in a row. Anthony Calvillo is no slouch at recognizing what he considers a weakness in the defense. He's just going to go down, one-on-one coverage. Little push right there. Now you can see right there. Now that's the big thing. There's the foot. It's inbounds. It's a nice job of concentration. Nice catch by Copeland. And again, attacking what Calvillo imagines to be a weakness. And I think they really got to get, if they can, George McCullough back in his lineup.
So Copeland with his second touchdown of the game, third of the season. That's the third touchdown pass of this game for Anthony Calvillo as he moves into a second-place tie with Sonny Wade on the all-time passing touchdown list as a Montreal Alouette. That is heady company.
Well, you know, you talk to Anthony Calvillo and you say, you know what, your year has been so outstanding. And he says, you know what, I don't look at stats. I feel stats are something you look at when you're finished the football and you're sitting at home in the rocker and you look back and say, you know what, I had a pretty good career. He really is not really worried about anything he does during the year. He's only concerned with winning the football games he's playing in.
Terry Baker with the convert. Ball is down and up and good. And so the Montreal Alouettes continue to operate with a 2-touchdown advantage as Anthony Calvillo throws 3 touchdown passes in the first half of this football game and has assumed the offensive leadership of this football team, building a 35-21 first half lead. We talked about him taking over as the signal caller. Don Matthews telling us that he never complained in the past. I thought that, you know, he felt like a second fiddle in Montreal, just taking direction and not assuming the role as the leader. And that's the role that Don Matthews has given him, and he has responded to that role with tremendous prowess, although he remains modest.
It's been a real challenge for myself this year, you know, calling the right play at the right time. And I think the last 4 or 5 years, I've been very consistent, and that's what I'm trying to do now, but I never had the opportunity to call my own plays, and that's been the major challenge for me this year.
So Anthony Calvillo calling it a challenge, but he has certainly risen to the challenge, and we've seen some brilliant play calling here this afternoon, Chris.
Well, I just like the way he is, his attitude. I mean, he's humble. He comes around and he says, my biggest thing is concern about calling my own plays. He says, I really want to make sure that I call the right play at the crucial time. Well, I thought if he played like the way he is right now, I think he's going to answer any critics if he has any.
Well, it's been an exciting first half as Calvillo has displayed his passing ability. Dan Crowley responding in fashion here today. McCullough pitches it back to Roundtree. Another pitch out down the right side. Denny Montana with lots of space down the right sideline. Gerard has speed, and he'll take him out of bounds at the 51-yard line. How about that? Two laterals on the kick return by Ottawa. And so special teams continues to provide us with some hijinks.
Well, one of the problems is a lot of times they say you want to hold on to football. A lot of times when you start flipping it back and forth, there's the risk of a fumble. But you know what? I like the way that Ottawa's approaching this football game, saying let's make things happen. Let's be aggressive on all phases of our football game, and special teams are a big one.
I like the way Roundtree disguised that. He didn't even look when he made the toss back, and he caught Montana at full gallop. So it's first down Ottawa, but just 15.6 seconds to go. Ball at the 51 of Montreal. Crowley's pass tipped, but complete. Damon Hodge has it and is brought down just across the 40-yard line, right at the first down marker. So Ottawa in a hurry-up situation. It is a first down, and they are within range of Lawrence Tynes.
And one of the things he's doing is he's getting rid of the football quickly, and I'm seeing good timing and good communication between the receivers and the quarterbacks today.
Just over 10 seconds to play. One more play and then a chance for a field goal that's incomplete. And so this will be a chance for Lawrence Tynes to add 3 more points before the half with 5.4 seconds to go. He's been good from as long as 50. But remember, Chris, he had a 59-yarder wiped out when Ottawa decided to take the penalty and continue to go on offense and declined their own field goal.
Well, the 24-year-old who played with Scotland in the World League is a very confident young man who feels that 60 is well within his range.
This one will be from the 47-yard line. Harper to hold, down, kick, lots of leg. It's short though. At full gallop, Stokes out of the end zone. Stokes still going, cuts to midfield. Finally tackled from behind. The big man, Alexander Gauthier, the rookie, sealing the first half with a big tackle, as Tynes was well within his range and came up short.
It looked like he almost got underneath the football, and as a result, the ball got up too high and didn't get the distance.
Let's go down to Brenda.
Mark, well, Coach Don Matthews, special teams and turnovers, 2 important stories in that first half.
Yeah, we made some real critical errors on our block and protection. We made a change personnel-wise. We think we have it straightened out.
How important is it for your team not to pick up any bad habits during these final 2 games of the season?
Our habits have been formed all year long. I'm not really worried about that.
Thanks a lot. Good luck in the next half.
Thank you.
Well, here at Frank Clair Stadium, it's the Montreal Alouettes 35, the Ottawa Renegades 21. Our halftime report is up next when we return to Frank Clair Stadium. Welcome back to the nation's capital. At the half, it's Montreal with a 35-21 lead over Ottawa. Well, anyone who has ever played professional football will tell you it's a game that requires a special kind of dedication, a special devotion to both the game and the team. Well, no one would ever question Montreal's Ben Cahoon and his dedication to the Alouettes, but Ben will be the first one to tell you that it takes a back seat to his 2 special passions.
Canadian Football Heroes, brought to you by Standard Life.
Utah's Brigham Young University. Here, education and the Mormon religion are intertwined. Brigham Young is where Ben Cahoon grew as a man and as a football player.
When you agree to play at BYU, you sign an honor code. There's an honor code there, which basically you agree to abstain from alcohol and tobacco and also drugs and premarital sex as well. So everybody that goes there to play football has to sign that honor code. So you know what you're getting into when you agree to go to BYU. More than anything, the church gives me a perspective of life and what's really important in life. I don't know if that gives me an advantage athletically.
Going deep down the far side is Cahoon again. He's got it!
Football is a small part of who Ben is, and he's a great football player, but he's even a greater husband and father to us. And he gets up with the kids in the middle of the night. He builds forts in the living room with the kids out of cushions on the couch. He takes the kids to the park. He's there for the first day of school. That's really who Ben Cahoon is that's what comes first, is his family.
My home is very important to me. Kim does a great job trying to make our home a refuge from the world and a place where there's a little bit of peace and a little bit of safety there.
Hey, Kim, love you.
The violent game of football stands in stark contrast to his faith. In the world of professional sports, Ben Cahoon is an anomaly.
It's just kind of my upbringing, my parents, and you know, I've been in sports my whole life, and that's always been important, is to keep your cool and remain calm. I think the players really respect the decision that I've made. They're well aware of it. I've been teased a little bit, and it's just all in good, you know, good-natured fun. I always had Jock Klein telling me if we won the Grey Cup that he was going to force champagne down my mouth, and he would have had a fight on his hand on that one, but it's all, you know, good-natured, and I enjoy that.
Well, this certainly has been a career year for Ben. Heading into this weekend, he sat third in the league in pass receiving, and he is also Montreal's nominee for the CFL's Outstanding Canadian Award. Well, here in Ottawa, it's the Montreal Alouettes with a 14-point lead over Ottawa.
One of the guys to play loose and have some fun and remember what the game's all about, and we got to make that difference up. You know, stay aggressive and we'll be okay.
Judging by that excitement in the first half, I guess no one could accuse either team of playing out the string today.
No, I don't think so. They're bringing their A game, and you know what? It'll make us better. And so, you know, appreciate the effort level. We got to come back and play a little bit better on the second half. We'll be all right.
Good luck.
Thank you, ma'am.
So Joe Paopau's Renegades playing with moxie here as they conclude the season with a home-and-home series with the Montreal Alouettes, and we take a look at the halftime stats, Chris.
Well, you see the block punts, which is a new category we decided to just enter right now, 2 for each team. I mean, you look at the yards rushing. This game has turned into an aerial attack and special team attack right now. We've seen everything from the block punts to a faked punt by Ottawa to a reverse on the kickoff return by Ottawa. And you see first downs offensively, very even. That's one of the things, if you're an Ottawa fan, hey, you know what? Stay positive because they're doing some good stuff today.
Yes, a field day on special teams and on offense as Dan Crowley limbers up on the Ottawa bench. Both teams, Chris, with 14 points off turnovers in the first half. Crowley 9 of 18 for 102 and 1 touchdown. And we're underway here in the second half. Short kick, and Matt Petts has it for Montreal, and they'll have tremendous field position as we look at your Canadian Tire game notes.
Well, we talked about controlling the line of scrimmage for the Alouettes. Montreal 195 net yards, 5 touchdowns. Done a good job defense stuff in the running game. Rannick only 11 yards rushing. For Ottawa, we talked about getting out of the gate early. 109 net yards, 21 points. They're staying in the football game, and on defense, turn off the AC. Cavill, 3 touchdown passes, tying Sonny Wade for second place in Alouette history.
Haskins to center field as Moten makes the tackle, and there's the AC. They haven't turned it off yet today, Chris.
Well, I mean, that's just veteran experience. He sees when they had Gamble in there, they just got to go after him, and Gamble still indeed is playing the cornerback position on defense. 2nd and 8,
Calvillo in a no-huddle offense with time, throws it down the middle. Copeland again. He had 2 touchdown passes and receptions in the first half, but there's a flag on the play, and it appears Copeland was offside.
Well, Copeland's just going to run a little crossing route and try to get in front, get some separation from Alfonso Roundtree, number 23. But Anthony Cavill with a bullet, a dart to the receiver.
Offside, Montreal, number 80. Repeat second down.
So it was Copeland offside after a nice catch, before the nice catch, and that will nullify the play. It'll be second down for Montreal in 13.
We take a look at where Anthony Cavillo has thrown this football. 5-3 big passing touchdowns right there. A lot of incompletions. He's gone deep. He's really done a nice job of spreading the football around, even though he's really concentrating to the right side of the football field.
Calvillo, here's pressure, throws it downfield, intended for Cahoon. He can't catch up to it. Gerald Vaughn with him step for step, and there's another flag. As we hear at halftime that the father of three has enjoyed this season moving inside at slot back. And
offside, Ottawa number 56. Repeat, second down.
And Ben Cahoon has been his own man, true to himself in the bright lights of Montreal. Penalty to Keaton Cromartie, and it's second down and 8, Montreal. Moving the ball 5 yards forward to center field. Calvillo huddling up after using the hurry up to start this second half. And a 14-point lead for the Alouettes. Calvillo with a 6-receiver set goes to that right side again, Chris. And it's Sylvain Girard with a first down.
Well, he just does such a nice job of looking off people. And they have such great team speed. Sylvain Girard, the recipient of the last toss, but he gets the defender, the quarterback, in a back pedal. Once you do that, it's easy to push him off. Now look at that. Look how wide open he is when he actually receives the football. Brian Capers has to come over, but not before another big play. And I mean, if you're Ottawa on defense, you really want to hold and give your offense the football. You don't want to let Montreal come out to start the third quarter and score.
First down, shovel pass, Keith Stokes, lots of speed, high steps, and there's Donovan Carter burying him at the 30-yard line. Otherwise, he would have had that first down.
Well, Donovan Carter does a really nice job of filling from the safety position. Not only is he a good cover man, but when you're back there in that safety position, you have to come up sometimes and make the play defensively. And he just reads it, sees that, fights off, squares up, and makes the play, taking Stokes down quickly.
Haskins, the right side, crossing the 25, and a Montreal first down with a 5-yard pickup.
What you see, they come out, they throw the football, and then they come back to the running game. And what that really does is it gets the big men up front, the old linemen. They're just going to do a little slide run. We're going to slide to the right side, and then it's up to the back, Thomas Haskins, to find a hole. He can go to the outside, or he can cut back inside. He cuts back inside and picks up the first down.
Montreal marching here on their opening series of this first half. Haskins having to negotiate a tough line of scrimmage there. Flag is down, and he'll have a gain of about 1 as Troy Aspel makes the tackle.
Well, it's the exact same play they ran prior, but it looks like this is going to be an offside against Ottawa.
Offside, Ottawa number 44. Repeat, first down.
Yes, it's Derek Ford with his second offside of the football game.
Well, Derek Ford is really frustrated right now, and he's trying to get off. He's at the top of your screen. He's trying to get off and beat the count. In his eagerness to get off the count, he jumps. The flag is thrown, and that's a quick 5 yards.
Calvillo, lots of time in the pocket, high and incomplete. Darren Hall, the intended receiver. And so it'll be second down and 5, Montreal.
They do a nice job of spreading the football field, getting the receivers out to the extremities of the football field, either side, and that opens up territory for the incoming receiver. Darren Hall just going to come back into the open area, and that ball hits him right in the hands. Once again, working against Dante Gamble. That's a catch that has to be made by Darren Hall.
Empty backfield, 6-receiver set. There's the shovel again to Stokes inside. Stokes looks inside, goes out for a first down. Kelly Wiltshire on the tackle. Claims he's got it. Stokes says he was down, and that's where they'll mark the ball at the 12-yard line. Another Montreal first down.
Well, they really like to run this play, and they can run it with so many people. We saw them run it for a touchdown a couple of weeks ago with Thomas Haskins. All they're going to do is bring it around. And now it's a direct option. And what I mean by that is they'll bring Haskins, or in that case Stokes, right around. They can either pass it to him,
right side, Chris Sorry, and a big gain to the 5-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup. It will be 2nd and 4, so Montreal can get a first down.
Well, the biggest thing, again, is just utilizing Thomas Haskins. Just get him in there. And this is where it becomes fun. We talked about the offensive line. No offensive line wants to sit on his heels and pass pro the whole game. So when you get a chance to run the football, not only is it successful, but it demoralizes the defense.
Back to Haskins, up the gut. He's hit hard. It's Aspel and Carter making contact.
I got it.
And it looks like Montreal will have the first down at the 1.
Well, they'll bring the big boys in. They'll bring in Tim Fleiser, Bruno Happel. Again, it's straight at the heart of that Ottawa defense, and they're trying to send home a message right now.
Well, they've gone to the ground after picking Ottawa apart through the air in the first half. And it's 1st and goal from the 1 for the Alouettes as they bring in the heavy team. Double tights. Haskins alone in the backfield. Calvillo will hand off. Thomas Haskins steps into the end zone. Touchdown, Montreal. Haskins with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game and 3rd of the season.
Well, Thomas Haskins, we talked about the fact they ran him the whole length of the drive. They wanted to go back to the running game, make a point. That's one way you really tell a defense, we're not intimidated by you and we can do what we want with you. What a fitting way to end the drive by giving it again to Thomas Haskins, who walks in. Donovan Carter, the safety, the only man with a shot, but by the time he tries to take Haskins down, he's already in the end zone.
Point after is good as Gerald Bond came close to blocking it, and Montreal opens a 3-touchdown lead as Calvillo continues to riddle the Ottawa defense with his play. Welcome back to Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa, where the Alouettes have opened a 21-point lead on Haskins' 2nd touchdown of the game, Chris.
Well, the big boys up front just do a nice job of getting everybody to the outside. Thomas Haskins untouched for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game, and really going after the Ottawa defense, trying to demoralize that defense, let them know they're in a football game.
Baker's kickoff dropped by Dante Campbell. He picks it up, and then it's clotheslined at the 25. Dropped in his tracks. And joining us in the booth, the Renegades general manager Eric Tillman. And Eric, your football team is definitely showing some moxie in this football game, although the Alouettes have sure shown their explosiveness on offense this afternoon.
Well, they're a very talented football team, Mark. There's no question about that. They got the key touchdown right before half. They come back out in the 2nd half, establish the line of scrimmage, go down. That's a 14-point swing, and I think it's a credit to their coaching staff.
As a general manager, what are you looking to see in these last 2 games from your players?
Well, I think we want to see emotion. We want to see passion. We're going to give an opportunity for guys to step forward and make statements. You know, we are in year 1 of a rebuilding project. There's no question about that. Really from the ground up. But, we've got to find out which pieces work and which ones need to be changed.
What can you say about the response of this Ottawa community? You're averaging over 23,000 fans a game.
They've been outstanding. This is a great football community. Clearly, the Canadian Football League has been validated coming back to the nation's capital, and I hope in short order we can give them a product that they can be proud of.
And your renewal date for season ticket holders this week passed in Wednesday. I know you were budgeting for $500,000. You got $1 million, so that's got to be encouraging.
Yeah, over $1 million. Everything's positive here, Mark. When you're a competitor, you hate to lose, but this is going to come incrementally, and this is a great football community, and the fans certainly in the corporate community have stepped forward.
Well, Eric, we're sorry your team will not be involved in the playoffs, but of course CBC will benefit by having your analysis during the playoffs, and we welcome you to the dark side.
I've been on this side before, and I'm delighted to work with you guys. CBC does a great job in covering the Canadian Football League, and like all of you, I'm looking forward to the playoffs. Just unfortunately, we will not be participants.
Well, we'll look forward to your comments and analysis throughout the playoffs and the Grey Cup this year in Edmonton. Thanks for stopping by, and good luck in the offseason.
My pleasure, Mark.
Eric Tillman of the Ottawa Renegades as the Renegades get set to punt from their own 10-yard line. Harper gets this the one away quickly. He squibs it, though. It's a shank to the right, bouncing at the 45-yard line. Stokes picks it up, reverses his field, can't get away, and Aubrey Cummings makes the tackle for Ottawa. Again, tremendous punt cover by the Renegades as Stokes, trying to break Johnny Rogers' single-season Alouettes punt return record, is stopped in his...
next week on Sports Saturday, our Women's Warrior Series continues. Sports Journal makes its season's debut, and the CFL on CBC has the Eskimos and the Bombers in Winnipeg, Mark.
And that should be an interesting matchup. The Eskimos already clinching first in the West as Montreal stays on the ground here in the second half. Haskins with the carry and a gain of 7 yards. Anthony Calvillo continuing to mix up his play calling. He's used 7 different receivers through the air, but come out on the ground here in the second half.
Well, he came out, started throwing a football, but then he decided, let's have some fun with it. We got the lead in the football game here. Let's get Haskins involved carrying the football. Let the big boys up front have some fun as well. It's been successful so far.
Question, Chris. How long would you leave your number 1 quarterback in the game with a 21-point lead with first place locked up and really 2 untested rookies behind him at quarterback?
Well, I think he said the biggest thing is that he wants to keep his starters in there as long as the game is in contest. And right now, I think with a 21-point lead, you may see Anthony Calvillo only play to the end of this third quarter. And we'll see. We'll have to check to see if they see any of the back quarterbacks, either Bolden or Matt Lytle, start warming up on the sideline. I would say third quarter, though, if the score stays this way. I mean, there's no real reason. He's got 3 good quarters under his belt. Looks very sharp.
Well, Ben Cahoon is getting a breather on the sideline right now. He's got the coat on, but Tom Matthews did say yesterday the starters will stay in as long as the game is in contest, and he said you don't need to look any further than when I coached Doug Flutie and the Toronto Argonauts in 96 and 97, 2 back-to-back Grey Cup seasons when Flutie went all the way.
And he made the fact that a real pertinent fact about it. He said, that you asked Doug Flutie, that was when he was the happiest. He really felt like he was the field general, that he was in charge of the football club. He wasn't just kind of orchestrating somebody else's game plan. He had a game plan in his own mind. He spent time in the film, worked with the coaches closely, but when he got on the football field, it was his game to call.
So Calvillo in the huddle as Mike Boro limps off to the Ottawa bench, shaken up on the last play. It is 2nd down and 3 for the Alouettes. Calvillo, quick handoff to Haskins, and he's met with immediate resistance at the line of scrimmage. Wiltshire and Ford in there.
Well, nice job of Jermaine Haywood coming through there in the middle. Just doing a nice job of fighting off the block, coming around, wrapping up Haskins before he could get to the opening. Haywood, who was a San Diego State grad, Defensive Player of the Year for 99, 2000, and 01. So obviously a big package in a small frame. He's only 6 feet tall, but packs a lot of muscle, a lot of strength.
Gamble back to receive this punt from Baker, who has averaged 44.9 yards this year. Lots of jump left in his punts. Another beauty. Gamble alone at his own 12-yard line. Gets a block. Across the 15, turns it upfield. Flags fly. And he's drilled as he crosses the 25-yard line by Tim Fleiser. Crowley getting set to go to work after throwing 1 touchdown pass in the first half.
Well, the big one obviously on an improvised play to Jimmy Oliver, spreading the ball again, taking a lot of the effective pass routes, the safe ones, working on both sides of the football field right there, the short intermediate ones, and of course the one big one.
And of course, no interceptions after throwing 4 against his Montreal team in August.
And you know what? We had Eric Tillman up here, and I think he's got to be pleased with the way that Dan Crowley has played today. He's really performed well under pressure, knowing full well after that last game, as you say, Mark, where he threw 4 picks, he's really responded well. He's thrown where he's had his own. He says, you know what? I'm going to do what I got to do. The receiver's got to help me out, and they've done a good job of that today.
The call was holding against George McCullough on the return, so Ottawa moves back to its own 15-yard line for first down.
Yep.
Crowley in the shotgun. Here comes the rush. It's away and incomplete. Look at the close coverage. Reggie Durden all over Aubrey Cummings.
Well, Reggie Durden right in the hip pocket. Aubrey Cummings just follows him around. Only 1 interception. They really haven't tested. You don't hear a lot about Reggie Durden. But you talk to a lot of the receivers in the league, and I tell you what, number 8 is a force on that football field.
Dan Crowley told us yesterday getting the ball away quickly would be paramount today with that blitzing front seven of Montreal, and he has been under continual pressure to make a quick read. There, Aaron Miles jumps offside as the flag comes down at the 15.
Well, that's another question when you're bringing 8 defenders. I mean, and Dan Crowley hit it right on the head. He says, you know what, I don't have a lot of time to throw the football. My decision making has got to be really quick.
Number 31, second down repeated.
I know they're coming after me.
And when you bring 8, Chris, that means you've got 4 guys covering 5 and 6 receivers. Well, somebody's got to be open.
Somebody has to be open. You're only allowed to have 12 players on the football field.
Another tremendous year. Miles, there's the look-in pass. It's incomplete. Jimmy Oliver had it in his grasp momentarily, and so Ottawa will have to punt.
Well, nice job of play calling, seeing the blitz. Jimmy Oliver cutting into the middle. Good coverage by Perry Carter, who does a nice job of knocking the ball out of Jimmy Oliver's hands.
So Jimmy Oliver, who made that grandstanding one-hander for a touchdown in the first half, can't quite grasp this one, and so Harper stands at his own 6-yard line to punt.
Well, remember, they've had an ongoing battle, Jimmy Oliver and Perry Carter, all day. He's got 1 touchdown, and he's drawn 1 pass interference against Perry Carter. Perry Carter on that last play, he won that battle.
Harper has had 2 punts blocked in the first half. Here they come again, and that was close. Sylvain Girard just missing. The punt, though, to Stokes. Wow, tremendous move as he beats the initial tackler, Steve Glenn, but is tackled by Donnie Ruiz at center field for Montreal. Sylvain Girard playing it wide out in place of Pat Woodcock this afternoon, and a near block there. That would have been the 3rd for Montreal.
Well, he had one last week. Now look at this. Here's Nora. He's supposed to block him. You got to take him to the outside. You can't let him go in this way. He lets it go in, and he almost comes up with his 2nd block in as many games.
Calvillo deep to Hall, and the diving rookie just misses as they continue to go after Dante Gamble.
They're putting a lot of mileage on number 15 because everybody wants to play him. They go to the sidelines, and all the receivers are saying, hey, I want to work against him. So Cavillo's biggest challenge now is to get his receivers in the right position to work against number 15. This one, another attempt, but just past the outstretched arms of the intended receiver, Darren Hall.
Calvillo with lots of snap in that pass, leading his receiver deep. Just a little too far, 2nd and 10, Alouettes. Haskins alone in the backfield to block. He'll leak out. Calvillo now to run. He'll throw it to Haskins. Haskins looking for the first down. He'll step out of bounds with a 12-yard gain as Derek Ford comes in late and drills one of our cameramen.
Well, you just talk about the decision-making of the veteran 9-year quarterback, Anthony Cavillo. Just does a nice job. He sits back there. He's checking to the right side of the football field. Nothing in there. Looks to the middle and then tucks it away. Now, see, look at the lane. And then he decides, he knows he has a presence of mind to know where the line of scrimmage is before he approaches the line of scrimmage. There's a dump pass to Haskins.
First down. Back to Haskins. Cuts left. Still on his feet. Going to the 20. And finally forced out of bounds. Gerald Bond tracks him down at the 11. A 31-yard pickup for Haskins.
Well, a little play action just comes back and breaks to the backside against the flow of the defense, and he makes people miss. Byron Capers can't bring him down. The little man with great leg strength to stay running, picking up good yardage.
Haskins normally used as a receiver from the slot back, but subbing for Lawrence Phillips at running back, and he has been a threat on the ground. Joe Paupow says he's Montreal's. John Avery. There's the ball to the end zone, but double coverage there. Ben Cahoon, the intended receiver, and a flag on the play.
Maybe a late hit. Someone in the background. Kelly Wiltshire getting up slowly.
Major foul, roughing the passer, Ottawa number 1, first down.
Kelly Wiltshire roughing up Anthony Calvillo, and again, concern for Don Matthews seeing his quarterback in a situation like this.
It's just, as you see, leaves his feet. Really doesn't have much impact on Cavillo, but the fact he left his feet and tried to take a shot at him after he threw the football was enough to warrant the flag.
Wiltshire has not missed a football game in his 6-year CFL career, and Montreal threatening again. There's the dump pass to Keith Stokes. Outside, looking for a hole. They string it out. Alfonso Roundtree dancing in front of the Alouette bench with a timely tackle.
It's a nice job of the defense, as you say, Mark, stringing it out. That's the only way he'll have success against this. You have to get him running east-west. Once he turns his shoulder and gets to the goal line, the play's over. Right there, he forces. Now, I thought he should have cut up there. I thought he had an opening inside up to safety Donovan Carter. He decided to stay to the outside. As a result, the play is unsuccessful after being brought down by Roundtree.
Second down. Alouettes at the Ottawa 9. Calvillo now audibling. 6-receiver package. His ball is knocked down, and Kelly Wiltshire redeems himself with a knockdown.
Now coming on the blitz, doing the next best thing, get the hands up. Just come for the top. Leave your feet at the right time. Get the hands up, knock the ball down.
Chris, it looked like afterwards there was an apology there from Wiltshire after that late hit.
Well, they talk about, I mean, this is an audible play. Bill called it, changed the play at the line of scrimmage, and you see at the end of that one, Copeland wide open over the middle, expecting that ball, and he says, boy, I tell you what, that would have been an easy one. It would be his 3rd touchdown of the day.
So after 9 touchdowns, Terry Baker will be pressed into service for a field goal attempt from the 16-yard line. The chip shot for the veteran, and it hits the goalpost, a dead ball. So the Owls with nothing to show for that drive, and Calvillo is not amused.
Well, he did everything right to get it down there, aided by a roughing the passer penalty by Kelly Wiltshire. It's up to the big man, Terry Baker, and he rings it off the right post. Dead ball, no points.
So Baker, the veteran who came into this game just 36 points shy of Don Sweet's single-season mark of 1,342 points, doesn't get anything for that attempt from 16. Here's Brenda.
Well, Mark, Hockey Night in Canada kicks off tonight with the Habs and Senators in Ottawa. Well, the Leafs are at home to the Rangers. You can check your local listings to find out which of those games will be shown in your area. Then on the full network, the second half of our doubleheader has the Stars in Vancouver.
Dan Crowley going down the sidelines, and Perry Carter will be flagged for interference a second time.
Number 2, one-on-one, good protection, sits down there, airs the ball out. Now they have to play the ball, and that's the second time that Carter's done the same defensive tactic. That's basically take the hands away, knocking the arms down of the receiver, Jimmy Oliver, and both times that flag is going to be thrown.
So Ottawa, first down at their own 50. Matthews, again, upset with that kind of conduct. Crowley, short drop, hitch pass to Reggie Jones. It's incomplete. There's a flag on the play, and Ed Fillion is clapping. It looks like it'll go against Ottawa.
Well, usually when a defensive lineman is on his back and there's an offensive lineman on top of him, and they're on the football field, that's usually a pretty good indicator of a holding.
Ottawa, number 67. Repeat, first down.
Mike Abu-Mekrik with the hold. And so they'll move that one back 10 yards. It'll be first down repeated and 20 to go.
Well, Mike Abu-Mekrik was playing with 3 herniated discs. He's right there working across. Just gets beat on a nice inside move by Ed Fillion and decides to tackle him, take him down by the legs. Line judge just throws that flag.
Well, Ed Fillion is said to be the strongest man on the Alouette team as Ottawa goes back to the air. It's Oliver deep. He's got it! Oliver beats Perry Carter and then spikes the ball.
Jimmy Oliver, I tell you what, I'm very impressed with the way this receiving crew, they have taken a lot of heat over the season for drop balls. Well, we've seen Jimmy Oliver, number 85, come up with a circus catch in the end zone for a touchdown. And once again, nice job of using your body to keep the defender away, to allow him to have the opportunity to come up with that catch. And again, knowing where you are in the football field as you're very close to the out-of-bounds line.
Jimmy Oliver with 71 yards receiving so far and 1 touchdown. He's now 75 from 1,000 in a CFL season. Play action, pressure. Crowley just throws it away into the Ottawa bench. Doug Nussmeier, the nearest man there, the Ottawa assistant.
Well, they're going to stay with what's been working. As basically try and run a little play action bootleg, get Crowley outside. That's what they want to do. Get him to the outside. Play action, hopefully freeze somebody. Mark Washington's not biting on it. He's right in his face. Crowley does the right thing of getting rid of the football.
Nobody went for the fake as Filion roamed again inside the Ottawa backfield. And so it's 2nd down and 10. Renegades. 2:30 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Crowley, a snap to his feet. He picks it up. Can he make something of this play? Gets the ball away deep. There's Oliver open. Touchdown! What a play! Jimmy Oliver with his 2nd touchdown catch of the game. That one for 38 yards as Dan Crowley makes up for a botched snap.
Well, we've seen it 3 times today, and every time he's botched a snap, he's made something positive happen. The 2nd time, the end result is a touchdown to Jimmy Oliver, who gets behind the coverage of Harry Carter.
Dan Crowley with his 2nd touchdown pass of the game. And what a veteran move. Cool under pressure.
That's a combination of many things, Mark. One is that the receiver is staying with the route. He's continuing to run the route, even though there's some trouble at the snap. He's going deep, and again, it's all Crowley. Just mishandles the snap, it's slow, picks it up, gets to the outside. Now look, just right away, presence of mind to see somebody go deep. Jimmy Oliver gets some separation.
And he beats the ball hawk, Baron Miles, who leads the team with 7 interceptions.
Well, he just beats the jab downfield. Bear Miles tries to get his hands on him and misses him, and as a result, that allows the receiver, Jimmy Oliver, get to the outside. But you see him picking up that ball. That's 3 times he's picked the ball off the ground and made something positive out of it.
And he took a shot from Strickland as he released the ball. But again, the story today with veteran Carl Coulter, the center, out. It's been a problem, the exchange between George Hudson and the quarterback. As
you would think that would be a problem, but when you have it happen 3 times, and 2 out of 3 times you get touchdowns from it, you might want to put that in the playbook. What's amazing about it is I'm just impressed with the way Crowley is. It looks like he's just trying to make something happen, but the receivers seem to be in sync with him today, which has not been the case all season, and positive things are happening as a result.
So the 2nd touchdown of the game through the air for Dan Crowley, linking up with his battery mate, Jimmy Oliver, who now has 6 touchdown catches for the season and is rapidly approaching that 1,000-yard mark. He has 5 catches for 109 yards so far today. He needed 146 to get to 1,000. He might yet do it here this afternoon, the way things are going. And the kickoff sails out of bounds at the Ottawa bench, and so the Alouettes will get 1st down at the 45-yard line. But how about the tremendous athletic ability shown today by this man, Jimmy Oliver?
Well, he's done it all. Really, he has been an inspiration for the receiving crew. They've also been inspired by the decision-making and arm strength of Dan Crowley, who is playing to try and come back next year. He wants to be the #1 guy at training camp next year. Keeps making plays like that on a botched snaps, that decision will be a whole lot easier for head coach Joe Paupau.
So 33 yards to go, rather 37 yards to go for 1,000 for Jimmy Oliver. Hand off, Thomas Haskins bellies back, looking for a hole, gets to the line of scrimmage and is tackled immediately. But a gain of 1.
And you see what happens. We talk about this momentum, how it switches from team to team. Montreal comes down, scores a touchdown, while Ottawa responds by scoring a touchdown. That gives life to the defense. Now, this play was working very well the last time they ran it with Haskins. This time, more aggressiveness shown by the defense of the Ottawa team. They get up there, they string it out, and they wrap them up.
Ottawa pulling to within 2 converted touchdowns of this juggernaut from Montreal. Can the defense finally stop Anthony Calvillo? 6 receiver set, time, throws it to the sideline. Haskins is wide open and can't get there. The ball drops incomplete, but there was nobody within 10 yards of Haskins in the flat.
He got to think this is a breakdown if they're looking to put the middle linebacker, Troy Asbell, in coverage to the flat on Haskins as he comes out of the backfield. You know, Cavillo sees this right away. In 94, he's way out of position. He can't cover this guy. Very fortunate that it's just out of the hands of Haskins. Had he caught that football, he's going for a while.
So the Ottawa defense does rise up and stem this Montreal tide. A punt situation for Terry Baker. There's his average for the season, and just about bang on today at 44 yards under cold, inclement conditions along the banks of the Rideau Canal. Baker gets a nice spiral, a booming punt, one of his best of the day. Gamble catches it at the 15. Sylvain Girard keeps him contained, and Stéphane Fortin makes the tackle for a gain of nothing really on a 50-yard punt from Terry Baker as we join Brendan.
Well, Mark, the CFL on CBC will close out its regular season schedule with a game in Winnipeg. It's the Edmonton Eskimos in Winnipeg to play the Blue Bombers. Edmonton, of course, clinching the West with a win over the Riders last night. And you can join Chris Cuthbert, Chris Walby, and myself for all the action beginning at 3 Eastern.
Stéphane Fortin is down after making the tackle, and they're addressing his hamstring, it looks like, Chris. So we'll take a break and return to Frank Clair Stadium right after this. Fortin is down at the Montreal bench. William Loftus left the game with an arm injury in the first half. That means no free safeties in the game for Montreal as Mike Vilmick, the number 2 pick overall in the first round for Ottawa, makes his first carry as an Ottawa Renegade.
Well, he's been used, he's played 7 games, but used primarily on special teams. Got a taste to carry the football. He's been wanting to do that all year. He said he's been a little frustrated to watch what Claremont has done in BC and felt like he could be a bigger contributor to this football team if he was given the chance.
Yes, he said it's no fun to watch from the sidelines as Mark Washington moves into the game at the free safety position. Second down and 6, Ottawa. Ball is complete to Hodge, and he is knocked down by Strickland, who puts him up in the air and drops him immediately as we end the third quarter in Ottawa.
Let's go!
Quarter of football to go in the Ottawa Renegades' final home game of their inaugural season, and they're putting up a fight, down 42-28 to the Eastern Division leading Montreal Alouettes. Ben Harper getting set to punt to Keith Stokes, who is 30 yards away from matching Johnny Rogers' Alouette single season punt return record of 971 yards.
Nothing new.
Well, for the most part, the punt cover team of the Renegades have done an extremely good job of staying in their lanes and limiting whatever gains that Keith Stokes can get.
Stokes at the 49, dodges one tackle and is hit hard. Joseph in there with Kelly Wiltshire for Ottawa as we look at the third quarter numbers.
Well, you still look at that. First down's relatively the same. Turnovers 4-2. It's basically 2 blocked punts for each team. The 2 additional ones for the Renegades are on downs when early in the game the Ottawa offense elected to try and go for it on third down twice and failed.
And late word from the Montreal sick bay. Stéphane Fortin will be back.
Ottawa, number 1. Repeat third down.
Wiltshire called for holding. Fortin to return from a hamstring strain.
Well, we talked about the depth that the Alouettes had. They're really testing it today, obviously, with Loftus out and Fortin having a little bit of strain. And I'm actually surprised he's coming back the way he was walking out so gingerly on the sidelines.
And also word from the Montreal bench, Pat Woodcock has apparently aggravated his groin injury. He was lost early in the football game. Their big wideout threat ailing again as Harper will punt again. Shank punt off the side of his foot, bounces at the 44. It's fumbled. Ottawa's there. Ottawa has it, but there's a flag and it looks like no yards will nullify that potential turnover. Sean Gallant right right there. A 40-yard punt.
One of those scenarios where you're trying to get down there with the coverage, as you say.
Ottawa, number 56. First down.
Keaton Cromartie within the 5-yard zone. Nullifies what would have been a fumble recovered by Sean Gallant. Ball's bouncing. He actually is looking to where he wants to go before he secured the football. Comes loose. Sean Gallant with a great recovery, but all for naught as Keaton Cromartie called within that 5-yard neutral zone.
So first down, Montreal at the 48. Pump, handoff, Haskins, nobody there. Daylight for Haskins down the sidelines. And finally knocked out of bounds by Donovan Carter. Stretching to get his hands on the jersey of Thomas Haskins. It's a 24-yard gain.
Well, just a reverse sweep, and that's all it is. He's going to go around. Now, this is a key block right there, 44. When you got Derek Ford, who's the outside guy, who's got to get contained, Happel does a wonderful job of getting in his face, staying with him. That doesn't allow him to get to the outside, and the recipient of that play, Haskins, who's now over 100 yards rushing.
2 touchdowns, force on the ground. Here's Bruno Happel now after blocking all game, gets the ball and buries himself inside that scrum for a gain of about 4.
Well, big Happel getting a chance to run behind the guys, usually the lead blocker, the fullback. Last year involved in about 85% of the football plays on the field. This year he's had his role diminished somewhat. He's only on about 20% of the time, but he says, you know what, I'll do whatever it has to be. I'm a team guy. I understand the concept, the change of philosophy.
Yes, this Montreal O-line dominates that line of scrimmage as Luke Fritz comes into the game for Scott Flory at the right guard position. Getting some reps, the backup in his rookie year at Eastern Washington. And a flag on the play, and it looks like a time count violation against Anthony Calvillo and the Alouettes.
Well, looking over the defense.
Time count violation, Montreal number 13.
Calvillo deciding if he wants to change the play. He's doing a lot of audibling or changing the play at the line of scrimmage, trying to put his receivers in the best situation to take advantage of the Ottawa defense. Sometimes with only 20 seconds you get called, and that was the case in that play.
Don Matthews beginning to sprinkle some of the backups into the lineup. Luke Fritz getting a chance on that O-line beside their star center Brian Chu, who will be a free agent after this year. Already apparently being sought after. Complete. It's Darren Hall, short of the first down, tackled at about the 21 of Ottawa.
Well, Darren Hall with the reception. Dante Campbell, who's had a hard day today, comes up, makes a nice job of limiting the gain after the reception by Hall, taking the feet out, not allowing him to pick up the first down. You see Terry Baker going to come on the football field and attempt a field goal. Last one he tried off the right upright.
Yes, it was a gimme really from 16 yards out, but he drills it right off the right upright for nothing. No points on the play. This one they'll spot it at the 29-yard line. Baker has been good on 33 of 49 attempts this year, his longest from 44. The 16-year veteran from Mount Allison Mounties in the Maritimes. Cahoon spots the ball. It's blocked. McCullough got his hand on it. Now Vaughn puts it down. The ball is still in play. Here comes Roundtree for Ottawa. He drops it again. Dante Gamble has it. No whistle. Gamble pitches it out. It's on the ground. And the Renegades playing rugby with the ball, and they turned it over. Matt Pence has it for Montreal. One too many laterals for Ottawa. And so the Alouettes go back on offense after the second botched field goal for Montreal. Joe Paopao has seen it all today. 4 blocked punts, a blocked field goal, 2 turnovers on that last play, and what looked like a tremendous special teams effort by his Renegades turns into a turnover for the Alouettes, and they go back on offense, 1st and 10. Calvillo, lots of time, goes for the home run. Copeland, he's got 2 already, but can't catch that one.
Well, you want to talk about the block. Here's the guy that's going to block it. Now, he's going to come here. He's supposed to step here. He steps out. As a result, you open a lane. Always block in. That allows McCullough to hop through the opening, get his hands on it, and block the field goal attempt. And then after the huge rugby game that goes on here where the ball's down and Dante Gamble picks it up, and he stands there, he thinks, well, the whistle's gone. No, it's not. So he picks it up. Then it becomes another lateral vain attempt, and Clinton Wayne even gets to touch it. I think it's one of those drills where we try and let everybody touch the football.
So Terry Baker hitting the goalpost from 16 and having that one blocked from 29 by George McCullough. And there's an injured Alouette on the football field, and this could be costly. It looks like Brian Chu, the center.
Well, I think there's definitely, we talked about the 2 blocked punts earlier. So we look at Brian Chu on the ground, and can ill afford to lose him. But the biggest thing is, you know what, now we have another breakdown of special teams on the field goal team. I mean, there's going to be some definite long meetings of special teams.
Brian Chu, Chris, is the outstanding lineman nominee for Montreal this year and is reportedly being paid $100,000. He's the best paid center in the CFL and will be a free agent after this year. As we look at the rest of the nominees, Calvillo, of course, an outstanding player, Stokes, the rookie, Baron Miles on defense, but Chu is up and walking under his own steam. If he does play the free agent market, it's reported that both Ottawa and BC are interested. But Chu says he'll wait for Anthony Calvillo to make up his mind. He'll be a free agent after this season. And word is that Gil Scott is looking for $500,000 for Calvillo. Although Jim Pop says we'll start at Kahari Jones numbers, about 300, and work our way down.
Now remember, these are all speculative numbers. Nobody really knows because there's a lot of bonus clauses thrown in there. And I think a lot of the numbers that are thrown around in the media are inflated.
That's being waved off as an incomplete pass as Stokes had it momentarily and was stripped before he had control.
But I think when you come into a situation with a Brian Chu, a very good offensive lineman, and a guy who's got extremely good quickness from that center position, he's able to reach block or reach over one man a lot of times without any help. That's something that's not done around the league. And if you get a guy with that kind of quickness in your own line, you want to keep him, and that's probably why he's being so well paid by the Alouettes.
So the Ottawa defense making a stand there after the turnover, and Terry Baker will punt from center field. Dante Gamble is the lone Renegade back, 5 yards deep in his own end zone. A shank from Baker. It bounces at the 17, rolling to Gamble at his own 7, breaks a tackle, looking for some field room, and he's hit hard. Reggie Durden at full speed stops Dante Gamble in his tracks. It's Ottawa first down with 11:03 to go. Back in Ottawa, Dante Gamble didn't see Reggie Durden and took a terrific shot there and nearly lost the football, was slow to get up.
Well, there might be some organs on the field as well. I mean, he came right back into the traffic, paid the price.
Otherwise, Gamble had a huge gaping hole to the wide side of the field. First down, Ottawa. Crowley with pressure in his own end zone. There's the screen pass, and it's dropped by Josh Ronick. Ronick had his blockers in formation in a seemingly first down situation, all for naught.
Well, this is one of the scenarios, too. You have to remember when you have a guy like Josh Ronick coming out of the backfield, you haven't really utilized him much in the football game. He's getting cold out there. He's being mainly used as a blocking back for passing plays. All of a sudden, you throw him the football. He hasn't touched it for a while. Gets a little bit of the dropsies right there, just goes through the arms.
The rookie candidate for the Renegades this season with a tough drop there, a 2nd and 10 situation. Crowley bobbles it momentarily. Man wide open. It's intercepted. No, it's dropped. Wait a minute. They're continuing to play as if the ball is in play. Shaw has it after Durden knocked it down, but it is an incomplete pass. It was intended for Malcolm Johnson, but it will go as an incomplete pass, and so Ottawa will have to punt.
Well, it's one of those situations. If you're going to throw the ball to the receiver, in this case Malcolm Johnson, you either got to throw it past the defender or have your receiver come back to the football. Neither one happens, and as a result, Reggie Durden looked FieldTurf-like, he comes up with the interception. He's the one coming back to the football. The ball goes off, and Wayne Shaw thinks he's still got it before it hits the ground and takes off with it.
That was awfully close. Here's Harper. Oh, it's a good punt. Stokes at center field for the Alouettes. He'll go backwards by 5. Still looking, and Ottawa swarms him. Fumble! Renegades have the football! And so special teams continue to be a problem for the Alouettes. But will the officials rule them down?
Well,
A 5-yard loss on the play.
This is interesting because we didn't see him go down. The ball popped out. I can't really believe that they're having this conference, but they're going to give Montreal the ball.
Oh, and it's a slow decision, but Glenn Johnson rules it Montreal ball. I'd like to see that again. The Renegades thought they had it as Stokes tried to improvise. And the Ottawa punt cover was all over him. Denny Montana is upset. He thought he had the ball.
Well, just trying to make something happen. He goes back. Cromartie almost has him. Now as he goes, the ball is out. The question again is he down, or is one knee touching the ground before that ball pops out? The referees had a little conference. They believe that his knee was down before the ball came loose.
Another injured player for Ottawa. In all fairness, it did look as though Stokes was down.
Well, from that angle, yeah, because there's a massive humanity right there, and I think that that's what the referees saw.
Fans disagreed as they addressed the injured Renegade. Another look at it from this angle, Chris.
We'll take a look as he tries to come back in. He's holding that ball kind of loosely. He's got it tucked in there now. It's just about to go down,
There's
and the
the
knee is down. You see the knee is right down. That's a good call. A lot of times, you know, the linesmen and the referees take some heat for calls, but you got to give him credit on that one. That was a good one.
Sean Gallant is the injured Ottawa player, and they're looking at his neck. So what appears to be a neck injury for Sean Gallant for Ottawa. Sean Gallant still prone at the 50-yard line of the Alouettes. Neil Fort showing some concern as the Ottawa medical staff, Steve Dias, their therapist, leading the investigation here.
Well, you know, this is one of the things, you know, as competitive as these players are and the things they'll do on a football field, there really is no intent to hurt each other. May have been hit by his own player. Sean Gallant's right up there. Let's just slow it down. As you can see, he's coming in to make the tackle. Oh, helmet to helmet of his own player, trying to come across. That was Kelly Wiltshire, number 1, coming in to make the play. Goes over the pile and actually catches Sean Gallant on the side of the head. We saw this yesterday in Saskatchewan, the Edmonton game. Jason Mallett got hit by the center, Tim Princeton, unexpectedly from the side. They took him away, but he was moving, and they took him just for precautionary measures to the hospitals.
Well, Gallant has one leg up, his left leg up. That's an encouraging sign as the Ottawa medical staff continues to attend to Sean Gallant for Ottawa. Ended to at the 50-yard line, and now an ambulance has made its way onto the field. So this must be serious as they take all precautions and what looked like a head-to-head collision between Gallant and Kelly Wiltshire.
0, 8, 7, 5, 6.
There's Wiltshire coming in, trying to make the tackle on Stokes, and then drilling Gallant on the side of the helmet, and he was felled immediately. Right there. It's a good sign, though. We've seen his legs moving, Chris. And we'll go to the sidelines now and join Brenda.
Well, thank you, Mark. Right now I'm with Skip Prince. He's the president of the Montreal Alouettes. He's also the man in charge of finding a new CFL commissioner. Can you update us on how that search is going?
Well, things are getting closer. There's a certain physics to a commissioner search, particularly when the league's doing as well as it's doing this year. We've been overwhelmed by the quality of the candidates we've gotten. We think we've reduced it to a couple or three very top-tier folks, and we'll be talking in a much more concentrated fashion with these guys in the next week or so.
Of course, the question always is, will there be a commissioner in time for Grey Cup?
Well, it's a goal. It's not a deadline. Clearly, the thing that we wanted to do all along here was to make sure that we took the time we needed, but do it as quickly as possible. And if we can get it done by Grey Cup, we'd love to do it for obvious reasons. But we're going to work according to the scheme that we've set out here, and we hope we'll be able to have a commissioner by the time of the Grey Cup.
Now, critics say without a commissioner, sometimes the teams act very independently, that we see 9 teams kind of going off in their own directions. Is that analysis fair?
Well, I think it may have been true in the past. I don't think that's been true of the league this year. Interim Commissioner Braley has done a great job of keeping the group together, and we've created a committee structure. I think that the teams individually and collectively have worked harder as a league than in their recent memory, and it's been very fulfilling in that regard.
Let's talk for a moment about the Montreal Alouettes. Nearly 40 consecutive sellouts at home. Could you believe that the community has responded in the way it has to this team, this franchise?
Well, I think it's even impressed us. Clearly, we're all Alouettes fans, but the period of time it took to sell out Olympic Stadium, which is all but sold out for an event with 56,000 fans, and the sellouts and the response that we get, and the emails that we get when we do something right or something wrong, is it's really compelling. Bob and Lisa Wettenhall have put together an off the field as well as on the field team that we think is second to none in the league.
Now tell me about the game that's going to be played at Olympic Stadium in a few weeks.
Well, it's like I say, it's 56,000 people strong. We're going to fill the upper ring with kids throughout Quebec, who we hope are going to be there in their football jerseys, making as much noise as possible. The lower bowl is going to be filled with fans. We're going to have a party on Saturday night. We're going to have a breakfast on Sunday morning. So it's not just a game; it's a weekend of celebrating CFL football and the Alouettes.
Will anything less than the Grey Cup do?
Nothing less than the Grey Cup ever does.
Skip, thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's go back to Mark.
Yes, it'll be a tremendous Eastern final in Montreal, and concern continues to be shown for Sean Gallant and what appears to be a neck injury after a collision with this man, Kelly Wiltshire, and the Ottawa team showing its concern with what looks like a prayer huddle, Chris.
Definitely a team prayer. I mean, this we talk about it. I mean, you lay it on the line, and people don't realize the physical nature of this football game. And you look at that, it looks like a simple play with Sean Gallant. He coming to make the tackle, and you at least expect to get hit from the side. That's what happened. You can see what's in front of you, but everybody's trying to make the play, and there's Eric Tillman, the general manager, obviously very concerned as well.
Brad Waters, one of the team owners, on the field to check on Sean Gallant. The rookie Darren Hall from Montreal. Megna, the Alouettes, everybody in football does not like to see a serious injury like this. They play with reckless abandon. It is a game of controlled violence, but neck injuries put the fear of God into everybody, including the coaching staff.
A lot of times you hear about players and the fact that they have to lay it on the line. The fact is they never know how long their career is going to be. You can't control what happens on a football field. That just shows you right there as you take a look at some of the looks.
Pat Woodcock, who came back after missing a game with a groin injury, the Canada native, had bought 100 tickets for family and friends to come to this game here today, and he was gone early with what we're told is a recurrence of that groin injury. So that's not good news with 1 week left to go in the regular season.
Well, that's the worst case scenario, is bringing somebody back, hoping they're ready, and to have them go out again, and hopefully they're not going to lose them for the playoffs, because that's the big thing. You want to rest. You want to get guys back in a lineup, but you don't want to impair their ability to play for you at 100% when you really do need them.
So, Chris, as you mentioned, last night, Jason Mallett, the free safety of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, with a neck injury, and on successive days, another free safety injured. Sean Gallant with a neck injury, what appears to be a neck injury. Joe Paopao, the head coach, with concern on his face, next to the ambulance, which is parked at center field, and they put Sean Gallant on a flat board and strapped him in as Jason Krolt looks on to make sure there is no movement in the neck region. And we'll take a break and come back as it looks encouraging as they move Gallant. Sean Gallant with a thumbs up as he was moved on the gurney and into the ambulance here at Frank Clair Stadium after a head-to-head collision with Kelly Wiltshire. So we hope that Sean Gallant is okay, but they're not taking any chances as they had him immobilized and strapped to that flat board and gurney, and will be taken to hospital for observation as we join Brenda.
Well, thanks, Mark. I'm with Eric Tillman. Eric, can you tell me the latest on Sean?
Well, and just talking to the doctors, they're very optimistic. You know, it looks like a compression issue with the neck, but premature reports are optimistic. We're taking every precaution, but we have an outstanding medical team, and I know that Sean's mom's watching, and our thoughts and prayers are certainly with him.
Well, you said you were going to go phone the family to give them the update on the situation.
Well, this at times like this, the game's put into perspective. These are human beings, not players, and you got family members that are watching. And again, the early reports from the doctors are favorable, and again, all we can do is keep him in our prayers.
Thanks for this update. Let's go back to Mark.
So our hopes go out to Sean Gallant as he is taken away by the ambulance. Fans giving him a round of applause with their thundersticks as they leave Frank Clair Stadium. Chris, you're a former player, 16 years in this league. How hard is it now to pick up and move on with 9:54 to go in this football game? The temperature plunging, and the players have been standing around now for upwards of 20 minutes.
Well, it's not only that. When you see something like that happen, what happens, the players get together as one, hoping for the recovery of the player. It's really hard to turn on the aggressiveness again.
Here we go, the blitz. Calvillo gets it away. Haskins has it on the screen. He beats Byron Capers, and there's daylight. Gerald Vaughn, last man back. Haskins cuts inside, still going at the 5, and then stumbles. Can't get to the goal line. Dante Gamble, it looked like he got a piece of him. And so the first play after the injury interruption is a big one for Thomas Haskins.
Yesterday, Joe Paopao made the statement that he thought this man, Thomas Haskins, was the most dangerous player on the Alouettes offensively. A bold statement to make when you have guys like Lawrence Phillips and the receiving crew they have, but he just does such wonderful things when he catches that football. I mean, he's only 5'8", and he breaks tackles. He's not the biggest man out there, 170 pounds, but he makes people miss, and he always does something productive.
Haskins gets the call, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. Capers, who was beaten the last time, comes up to fill from his defensive corner position. So it'll be second down and goal, and a loss of 1 on the play from the 5.
It's a nice job of, as you say, Capers coming up, but the initial attack by safety, Donovan Carter, coming up there to force Thomas Haskins to redirect, which allows Byron Capers to wrap him up.
Haskins with 2 touchdowns already on the ground. Second and goal from the 5. Here comes the blitz again. Calvillo waiting. He'll be flushed out of the pocket, rolling right, throws the ball away. Under pressure, and there's a flag. And this might be controversial. Keaton Cromartie had Calvillo wrapped up as he threw the ball.
Well, they can't be calling roughing the passer here. Keaton Cromartie, I have to agree with this one. If they throw this on you.
Might be grounding, though, Chris. Although it looked like the ball, it may not have crossed the line of scrimmage, and that might be the call.
Well, we see that may be the call.
Intentional grounding.
It is.
Montreal, number 13. They're down.
The ball did not get across the line of scrimmage, and so Calvillo called for grounding.
Once again, the correct call is made. Originally, the Renegade defense was upset thinking that Cromartie might have got a roughing the passer call. But as you can see from that replay, the ball definitely grounded. Jermaine Copeland waving again.
Wide open, too.
Back in the end zone, waiting for the ball. Good pressure by the front four to force that grounded football.
Here's Baker from the 34. He's 0 for 2 in field goals this afternoon on a dark, chilly afternoon in Ottawa. Calhoun with the placement. He's wide right. Baker 0 for 3 in field goals this afternoon. And the Renegades will give up a single. As we go to the sidelines, and here's Brenda.
Well, Hockey Night in Canada kicks off tonight with the Habs and the Senators in Ottawa, while the Leafs are at home to the New York Rangers. You can check your local listings to find out which of those games will be shown in your area. Then on the full CBC network, the second half of our doubleheader has the Stars in Vancouver. Now let's go back to Mark.
Right, Brenda? So Anthony Calvillo's drive is just 1 point on that play as Baker has a block. He hits a goal post and misses there. And Ottawa goes back on offense to Malcolm Johnson with the catch. And the gain will be about 6.
Well, Ottawa down 15 points. Realizes with 7:17 and ticking left on the clock that they have to air the ball out. Put some points on the board. They've been very successful throwing the football. Have not run the ball much the second half. Josh Ronick with no carries in the second half.
Renegades down by 15. That's 2 touchdowns plus a 2-point convert to try to tie. Crowley, play action. There's a shovel pass. It's behind Mark Nora, and it's ruled an incomplete pass. So Nora with his first offensive play of the game.
Well, it's just a situation where they have the right play. It's just the execution of the play that's a problem. Just a little shovel pass, play action, and slide him out to the front, then shovel it to him. Just a bad pitch by Crowley behind Mark Nora, who can't come up with the reception and goes as an incomplete pass. But once again, the execution has forced the punting team on the football field. Live.
Glenn Harper to deliver to Keith Stokes. Drawing ever so close to the ordinary superstar Johnny Rogers and the Alouette single-season punt return mark. 971 yards. There's a nice punt, a spiral, driving Stokes to the far hash mark inside the 25. Breaking a tackle, bouncing around like a pinball, gets outside. What a single effort! And Keith Stokes is finally rushed out of bounds, shy of the 50, but making it up as he went along.
Well, just an absolutely miraculous run. I mean, he just makes people miss. It looks like the cover team is doing a good job of got him cornered. There's Steve Glenn right in the middle. That's exactly where he's supposed to be. 5 yards away, facing up the returner. But Keith Stokes just keeps dancing and jiving and making people miss. Makes something out of nothing.
Keith Stokes with an interesting return now is just 6 yards short of Johnny Rogers' mark.
And I think that the Alouette special teams know that because they had the return set for Keith Stokes, who did much of that returning on his own. He really didn't need the help of the blockers because they had a setup to go to the outside of the football field. Keith Stokes took it in the middle and then broke it to the outside.
There are the numbers. 1976, Johnny Rogers. Thrilled fans going into the end zone backwards right here in Ottawa. Total of 931 yards. So 6 to go for Keith Stokes, the rookie. Trying to break a celebrated former Alouette in his record. First down. Pump. There's that option in the roundabout to Haskins. There's a flag in the backfield as Haskins rumbles close to a first down.
Little misdirection sweep. Going back against the flow of the defense with Thomas Haskins. Successful before. Picks up good yardage in this play as well, but 2 flags come out near the end of the play.
Looks like holding is the indication against the Alouettes.
Well, remember the whole key to this play is to get to the outside. We saw
holding
Bruno
Montreal, number 82, 4 yards or gain.
Do a nice job with it on the first time they ran it.
Kwame Cavill, the rookie, called for holding on on the fake pass and the sweep to the running back, Haskins.
Well, just over here, you can see him. He's right over there, just holding right there, not allowing Byron Capers to come off the block.
So a 10-yard penalty, first down repeated, and 20 for the Alouettes with less than 6 minutes to go now in regulation time. Calvillo staying in the game, throwing deep downfield. Haskins, and he's drilled by Carter and can't hang on. But there's a flag in behind Calvillo as his teammates pick him off the field. Might be a late hit as Calvillo stays in this football game with a 15-point lead and 5:47 to go.
Great hit, a timing hit by Donovan Carter, who plays that center field.
And when will Don Matthews pull his #1 signal caller?
Well, I think if you looked at and you see a number of plays where your quarterback is on his backside after the play, you know that he's going to start thinking about it. But he says, you know what, I'm here to win the football games. I still think this game's, not out of hand yet. We're only up 15 points. I will keep him as long as I feel it's necessary.
And that he does as Calvillo scrimmages. First down after the roughing the passer call. Double tight end offense for Montreal, and the give is to Haskins on the right side, and he's hit quickly. Gain of about 2. And Clinton Wayne in on the tackle. Make the gain 4 on the play. 2nd and 6.
Nice job. Just a little off-tackle play. Slide protection. They like to do that. That's one of the things that Montreal likes to do with their offensive linemen is slide. And if they get the defense to flow with them, trying to beat them across their face, a back with Haskins' cutback ability will take advantage of that.
2nd down and 6, Alouettes. Running time off the clock, 4:55 and counting. Calvillo pressured, sacked. It's Kelly Wiltshire as they came from every direction.
They bring the blitz, a page out of the Alouette defensive playbook. Kelly Wiltshire, Jason Kralt in place of the injured John Grace come from both sides of the line of scrimmage. One for the top, one for the both side. There's nowhere for the quarterback, Anthony Calvillo, to go as the pocket closes quickly.
Wiltshire with his 3rd sack of the season, the leading tackler for the Renegades. Continues to be a force on defense. And Terry Baker will punt, standing at his own 34-yard line. It's George McCullough, the lone man back for Ottawa. Again, Baker with a low punt that bounces at the 35. McCullough now trying to get outside. Gets past Stephon Reed. Baker, the last man back. McCullough beats the kicker. Oh, and a game-saving tackle. A touchdown-saving tackle by Bruno Happel from behind. The big fullback showing some wheels.
Well, Baker did not make the play, but he did enough to redirect the returner, McCullough. That allowed Bruno Happel to come and make that play.
A 67-yard return, and Bruno Happel lassos.
Now you got to look at, Baker's missed 3 field goals, and all of a sudden at the end of this, he's looking and he sees the returner McCullough coming at him. He's going, is it that kind of day or what? Just does a nice job. Now look at this block. He gets to the outside. That's a nice job right there of allowing him to get to the outside. He breaks it, takes it down the sideline.
Not 1 but 2 blocks by Roundtree. First on Stephon Reed, and then a second. Here's
well, you need
Johnson
that initial. You need that initial block.
Procedure, Ottawa, number 55. Repeat first down.
So procedure against Chris Burns, and Ottawa will scrimmage first down all over again, 5 yards back.
Well, I just like the fact when he gets to the outside, does a nice job of coming up, get another block, but then he makes a nice cutback. My favorite part of it is always when the kicker sees that he's the last guy there. He's got to do something to try and take him down.
Oh, the ball right on the money, and Malcolm Johnson couldn't hold on. As Dan Crowley tries to rally this Ottawa football team with 3:33 to play in regulation time, trailing by 15. But George McCullough with a 67-yard return to put his offense in good field position.
And you have to say, Mark, this team, the Ottawa Renegades, have not played like a team that's out of the playoffs. They have really played inspired football today. They've made things happen on special teams especially.
And so was this man, Dan Crowley, playing for next year. High snappy one hands it. Crowley waiting, looks downfield, open. Connery Cummings has it go right through his hands. Incomplete.
Now, this is something that plagued this team all the first part of the season. Drop passes. You know what? You get that opportunity from an excellent return from McCullough, and you get Malcolm Johnson drops the prior pass. They only rush 3. This is a nice throw. Aubrey Cummings goes up. Now you got to catch that football. It's perfectly thrown in front of the receiver where he get his hands on it. Stefan Fortin, the safety in there, is behind him. He just doesn't catch the football.
3rd and 15, Ottawa going for it. A reminder that Saturday Report will be heard immediately following our football game this afternoon. 2:56 and counting, 3rd and 15. Crowley looking downfield. He'll go back to Aubrey Cummings. It's too far. Incomplete. And the Renegades will turn the ball over on downs. And now some bad blood behind the play. George Hudson is in there with Gauthier, the rookie, and Wiltshire, the former Alouette, talking to Adriano Belli.
Well, maybe a situation where Belli is, might I say, trying to kiss him. He has a reputation of kissing all his teammates.
Yes, and
actually, did he not kiss?
Don Matthews last week in the Hamilton loss. He's an Italian, and he says that's part of his culture. As Crowley went deep, took a shot from Belli late, and that may have instigated the whole situation.
A late hit for 1, and second, did you see where he hit him? He hit him at the knees. That's a no-no. That's a definite intent to injure type of hit. It's one thing to run him over up top. When you go low on the ground like that, man, I tell you what, there should have been a flag thrown on that.
So the kissing bandit with a low blow. Look at the peck on the cheek of the head coach. And a delayed reaction, a bit of a smirk there from Don Matthews.
I feel like singing "You Don't Send Me Flowers."
And Filion says he's trying to kiss the entire team this year. That's why he carries a baseball bat. As Haskins takes the handoff up the middle for a gain of about 7 yards on the play.
The best part about that is Filion said, "I carry the bat and I'll use it." He tries to plant one on me. I'll use it.
Belli knows what a hard day's work is all about. His family operates a meat processing plant in Mississauga, and when he's not playing during the football season, he's there at 6 a.m. working. So he says he plays every game like it's his last, and now a young fan is getting a shower on a freezing afternoon. Calvillo in the game, intended for Copeland, and it's incomplete as the ball bounces to the turf. So 3rd down, Alouettes with 2:10 to play. Calvillo with 3 touchdown passes this afternoon to tie Sonny Wade. And Keith Stokes attempting to break another star from the 70s record, Johnny Rogers, in the punt return department.
You know, we question the fact of why is Anthony Calvillo still in the football game, and you almost forget about his competitive nature. He does not like to come out of football games. He wants to stay in for the entire 60 minutes because he feels that with the playoffs coming and they got that bye because they've already clinched first place, he wants to get as much playing time as possible.
Most of the fans now making their way for the exits as Baker gets a beauty away, driving George McCullough back to his 32. McCullough up the middle, gets a block, and is dragged down by Matt Petz as he crosses the 46-yard line. So decent field position with 1:59 to go for the Ottawa Renegades. Their final home game of their inaugural season, a year in which they averaged more than 23,000 fans and might well turn a profit in their first year.
Well, they said the big thing they wanted to do today was to play well for their home field fans. They want to give them something to remember the team, to get them back next year, and I think they did a great job today, put on a great show. A lot of inspirational play by all the players, especially, as you say, there's head coach Joe Powell. He's got to be pleased with the work ethic of his group.
And you know, Chris, there's been no finger pointing on this team. When the offense struggled, the defense didn't point fingers. As Crowley's pass sails high overhead of Reggie Jones. It'll be second down, but no finger pointing. Good spirit, good camaraderie during a season in which this team has won only 3 games. Their last win here at home dating back to July 25th. So it's been a long time, but the people of Ottawa have stayed with this team.
Well, they say they have some great chemistry on this team. He really believes in getting the players together every week. They put a few bubblies on there, bring in some chicken, some pizza, and get them together. And what that does is it allows the players to relax, voice some concerns they may have, and I think it does build good chemistry.
2nd and 10, rolling. Crowley downfield. Reggie Jones again coming back, but the ball was thrown behind him and incomplete. 3rd down, Ottawa.
Well, Dan Crowley may want to start fumbling the football off the turf, picking it up, and maybe he'll make a big play out of that. But right now, the last 2 thrown, we've seen him attempt to the receivers. One's overthrown, one's behind the receiver.
The Alouettes, with the win today, will tie a team record for wins in a season with 13. And of course, that was set by your old buddy Dave Ritchie's team back in 1997. Crowley on the 3rd down gamble, downfield, it's complete. Damon Hodge has it for the Renegades, and a 1st down inside Montreal territory.
And that's what you gotta like. When Dan Crowley gets on the mark and hits his receivers, for the most part, we've seen a couple drops, one by Johnson, one by Aubrey Cummings that should have caught the football, but for the most part, when he throws to the receivers, they're coming up with catches. The guy that's been kind of quiet for lasted a while is their go-to guy, who they're trying to go to right now, and that's Jimmy Oliver.
Well, there's some pressure behind the play and some more pushing and shoving as Crowley threw that one out of bounds. It looked like Hudson again with Adriano Belli renewing their acquaintance.
Adriano Belli, a very emotional player who relishes the fact that he's playing professional football, enjoys every minute as if it could be his last.
Either that or it's the meat processing plant. Don Matthews, 1 minute and 36 seconds away from becoming the first CFL head coach to win 200 games in a career. A CFL milestone. But Ottawa with no quit. Crowley trying to evade the pressure, rolling to his left. Looking downfield, he'll throw it away and nearly picked by Wayne Shaw. There was nobody, not an Ottawa receiver in the area, as Crowley looked like he was just trying to get rid of it under intense pressure.
Well, he had to roll to the other side where he could throw in Jimmy Oliver's direction to make a play like that work. He came to the opposite side of the field where Jimmy Oliver lined up. There's no receiver down there, and that was definitely an attempt just to get rid of the football. Very fortunate that Reggie Durden didn't come up with that, or Wayne Shaw, excuse me, didn't come up with that interception.
So 3rd down and 10 again for the Renegades, and they continue to go for it. Nothing to lose here with 1:27 to go, and down by 15. Here's the blitz. Crowley gets good protection, throws it. It's complete. Malcolm Johnson has it for an Ottawa 1st down with 1:20 to go. So this offense, Chris, is trying to go out with a flourish, and look at the field general. Crowley looking confident here.
And the thing you got to respect about it is they're not fooling anybody. They know, Montreal's defense know that the Ottawa Renegades are going to put the ball in the air. Ottawa knows they have to throw the football, so it becomes a war right there. It becomes a zone one-on-one. Offensive line against defensive line, receivers against secondary.
There's a ball thrown up for grabs. It's intercepted, but out of bounds lands Wayne Shaw, and so it's an incomplete pass. Shaw thought he had his 7th of the year, but it will not be, as the Montreal DBs play a good 15 yards off in this prevent defense.
Well, they sit back there, and the ball's just overthrown again. The intended receiver is nowhere near Aubrey Cummings again. There's triple coverage right there. I don't think that's a great decision. We've talked a lot about how we've been impressed with some of the performance that Dan Crowley has put on today. I don't think that would merit that one right there, throwing the triple coverage.
2nd down and 10, Renegades. Ball at the 31. Play action. A high pass to Oliver, sails way over his head and into the sideline. So it'll be 3rd down for Dan Crowley. 1:05 to go in regulation time. Thomas Haskins coming in at running back for the injured Lawrence Phillips.
Everybody, we're coming home.
And they're going home to end the season against this Ottawa team 1 week from now. Then they'll have the bye as Neil Fort takes the tape off. It's all over the big man on the O-line. Montreal team will be headed to the Eastern Final. Crowley, third down again and 10. It's complete to Jimmy Oliver, looking for more. And he'll be tackled inside the 20 at about the 17-yard line with 57.9 seconds to go. Our stats people doing some rapid calculations. Oliver needed 146 yards coming into this game for 1,000, and he still needs 22. It's complete. Reggie Jones, touchdown, Renegades! Reggie Jones with his first touchdown catch of the year for Ottawa with 49.4 seconds to go.
Well, Reggie Jones, who just starts from the outside, slot back, cuts it back in the middle underneath the goal post, and Dan Crowley right on the money. Jones with a nice catch and a couple steps into the end zone.
Ottawa will go for the 2-point convert to put themselves within a converted touchdown of the lead. 49.4 seconds to go. Let's see the breath of the players on a cold and night has fallen here in Ottawa. Crowley into the end zone. It's over the head. Was that intended to Reggie Jones or down deep for Aubrey Cummings? But it falls into the turf. One more look at the TD.
Well, good protection. He just sits down there, and Reggie Jones just slants inside the coverage in front of the free safety, Stefan Fortin. Nice job of getting that. The play that kept the drive alive. Jimmy Oliver allowed them to get down to try that touchdown.
Jones with his first touchdown of the year, coming in the second last game of the year. What do you make of the decision to go for 2 there? Now the game is over. If they'd gone for 1, they'd have a chance for a short kick and then a 2-point converted touchdown.
Well, I think they felt they found something. They wanted to go back to it. And again, on that attempted pass to Reggie Jones, it was just another case. You see it time and time again later in this game as it gets colder of Dan Crowley just overthrowing the receiver.
So that will seal Don Matthews' 200th career victory as a head coach in the CFL. And they're trying to mop up over there at the sidelines. As Don Matthews gets a towel, he was doused by his team. 13th win of the year. The Renegades will go for the short kick, a high one aimed to the near sideline. There's a massive humanity, and it goes out of bounds. A flag on the play. It looked like Copeland was nearest to it, but I don't think anybody touched it on the way out of bounds.
Mark, I don't think that happened as well. I agree that it's just a longer kick, a little too far. Landed out of bounds, and that'll just bring the
kickoff, Ottawa, number 17. First down, Montreal.
Montreal offense will just come on the field with 48 seconds left in the game. We'll probably just kill the clock, and Anthony Calvillo will indeed finish this football game, starting from the beginning right to the end, even with the lead.
Anthony Calvillo staying in the game right to the finish, engineering 3 touchdown passes in a wild football game. 4 block punts, a blocked field goal, some big run backs. It's had its moments. But the Renegades came to play today. And Haskins, who's had a tremendous afternoon on the ground, takes this one up the gut for a gain of 3.
You got it, you got it, you got it.
Don Matthews came to Montreal in the offseason and has retooled this team, building it around speed and power and a cunning offense, putting it in the hands of Anthony Calvillo, surrounding him with lots of rookie receiving talent, players like Darren Hall and Kwame Cavill, Keith Stokes, and they have done a number, turning this offense from a ground-oriented possession attack led by running back Mike Pringle from 1 year ago, bringing Lawrence Phillips in a controversial but decision that paid off for the head coach at running back, missing today's game with fluid on his knee. But the daring passing team is Montreal Alouettes. Haskins on the ground. Right side, shy of the first down.
Well, one of the things that Matthews also said was our team has not changed its philosophy since the first game, and that's that they want to win every game, but they also want to improve an aspect of that football game, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams. You want to improve every week so that you can really peak at the right time. I mean, offensively and defensively, we see some good plays from the Alouettes. I think the special teams thing is something that is a little bit of a concern, but you know with this man's reputation that that'll be corrected quickly.
And credit should be given also to Jim Barker, the offensive coordinator, who helped put together this exciting offense full of different formations, lots of motion. And his day is done, and so we understand he's left to the spotter's booth and is making his way to the Alouette sideline as Don Matthews can celebrate a 200 win. As a head coach, and as the delay on the field as Kelly Wiltshire is attended to by Steve Dias. And a reminder that there's Jim Barker now enjoying a moment with Thomas Haskins, former Argo head coach, coming back to the CFL as an offensive coordinator. And what a work ethic he's shown, Chris. Stories that he's at work by 6:45, puts in his 13-hour days, 7 days a week for 6 months straight, often taking public transit to work, trying to save some money for his family that lives back in Las Vegas. Recent article in the Gazette, he was saying that he can live on $40 of groceries in 2 weeks. A Spartan lifestyle to get dedicating most of his waking moments to this football team.
Well, I found it quite humorous that he said if you want to ever get to know a CFL coach, just ask him to dinner because they'll never turn you down. They're always looking for a free meal.
This is a man with a master's in education from USC, working hand in hand with Don Matthews, fashioning a tremendous offensive team that is headed to the Eastern Final in a sellout crowd at Olympic Stadium. Terry Baker set to punt with 38.3 seconds to go in this long and drawn-out football game. It is 25-7 Eastern here in Ottawa. Nearly 35 minutes longer than an average regulation football game. Of course, a big delay with the injury to the neck of Sean Gallant, and we hope he's okay. Bouncing punt, gobbled up by Dante Gamble. He falls down and then is quickly harnessed on the play by Jason Richards as we join Brendan.
Well, Mark, here is the latest update I've received on Sean Gallant. I am told that he has a possible, with heavy stress, they say, on possible upper spine injury. He has been sent to the Civic Hospital here in Ottawa for precautionary reasons. I think everyone here at the Renegades is hopeful that everything is okay with Sean Gallant. But as I said, heavy stress on the possible upper spine injury.
Well, again, it's all speculation at this point as Sean Gallant will be examined here in Ottawa at hospital, but it's frightening when you have a spinal injury to the neck. A long Hail Mary pass down the sideline to Reggie Jones falls incomplete as Crowley continues to throw deep and with reckless abandon in the dying seconds of this last home game.
Well, he just sends all his receivers deep, sits back there and arrows it out, throws it as far as he can, and hope one of his receivers can come up with a circus catch. You see Jim Barker, the offense coordinator, talking to Anthony Cavillo, who really likes the system. We talked to Ben Calhoun, who really likes the system. He says, I play in the middle, but the way that Barker has designed the offense, it allows little guys like me to get open.
Crowley in the end zone, throwing downfield, jump ball. And it's incomplete. Baron Miles breaking up the intended pass to Malcolm Johnson. Miles trying to pad his interception stats coming into the game with a team leading 7. Tied with Rob Hitchcock and a group of, I think, 4 DBs atop the league.
Well, here's an interesting scenario. We're 3rd and 10. They're only on their 5-yard line. There's still 11 seconds left. If this falls incomplete or they don't utilize the entire clock, Montreal will get another crack at it offensively.
The deepest third down gamble I've ever seen. It's in and out of the hands hands of Jimmy Oliver right at the first down marker. So you're right, Chris. There's 6.5 seconds to go, and it will be a Montreal first down on the Ottawa 4-yard line.
And I mean, I understand the concept of wanting to keep the ball offensively. I don't understand the concept of giving a team like Montreal another kick at the cat, especially 5 yards from your goal line, because it's one of those cases where you could actually score another touchdown, make the game worse than it could be, but just add more confidence to that already powerful offense.
So Baron Miles will not get interception number 8. Remains in a 4-way tie with Hitchcock, Clifford Ivory, and Adrian Smith.
So what do you do here? Do you just say, you know what, we've got the game, 6.5, take a knee?
Take a knee would be the sporting thing to do, as there are 6.5 seconds to go in the football game, and that is the formation as Calvillo drops to one knee and only takes second and a half off the clock. And this will be the final play as it is whistled in by Glenn Johnson. Calvillo protected, takes the knee, and that's the football game. The Montreal Alouettes will defeat the Ottawa Renegades 43-34 as Dan Crowley, a former Alouette, is the first to shake Don Matthews' hand as he records his 200th victory, a new CFL milestone for head coaches in this league. Now here's Brenda.
Well, Mark, coming up a little later on CBC, it is Hockey Night in Canada. Viewers in most of the country will see the Canadians and the Senators. Meanwhile, hockey fans in Newfoundland and Ontario, with the exception of Ottawa, can watch the Rangers and Leafs. Then on the full CBC network, our second game has the Dallas Stars in Vancouver to play the Canucks. Next week, the CFL on CBC heads west to Winnipeg. It's the final week of the regular season. Here in Ottawa, it's the Montreal Alouettes over the Ottawa Renegades. For Mark Lee and Chris Walby, I'm Brenda